Welcome to the breakdown, episode 637. Sponsored by Gemini. That's right, Gemini.com/David G. You can go ahead and check out the lineup of credit cards that Gemini has to offer. That's right, all issued by WebBank. Issued by WebBank. All right, Gemini.com/David G. Check them out. Check them out. If you're doing like Christmas shopping or Hanukkah shopping or Kwanzaa, whatever, might as well go ahead and look into this credit card here, these lineup of credit cards, and get some real assets in return. 4% back in Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana. Terms apply. Also, go to my link. Go to my link. That's right. The Gemini link. Sign up, trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. Terms apply. Terms apply. Well, I'll be right with you, man. Relax. Y'all got to relax a little bit, and I'll be right with you. Going crazy. You guys are going nuts. I know you miss me, man. I know you miss me. Get it. If I could just get to this section, it'd be great. Okay, perfect. All right, here we go. How's it going? Oh boy, I got stories to tell. Some stories to tell. My experiences on a different platform, which we're streaming to right now. That's right. And we're working. We're still working. I don't know. We're still working on this, on the Facebook, Instagram integration. But welcome to the broadcast, the breakdown 637, sponsored by Gemini. You know how it goes down. Let me just go ahead and update the graphic here, the layover. I'll do it myself. I'll go ahead and do it myself. There you go. We're talking about money markets and Monday's markets. We're talking about how Bitcoin has dipped. Okay, Bitcoin has dipped. Oh my God, it's over. Oh my God, it's over. Oh my God. And everything that's happened over the weekend, which is crazy. Crazy. We had some crazy shit happen over the, man, a bunch of people enjoying Hanukkah, and you have two crazy ass individuals that go out there, father and son, and they start going ahead and shooting at innocent people just enjoying themselves. So we'll talk about that. We'll touch on that. Obviously, we'll later into the show. I appreciate it, man. Like I'm always trying to step up my game here. I'm always trying to step up my game. By the way, I'll get to this. Show sponsored by Gemini, episode 637. We are now broadcasting on TikTok, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. You catch the show. We got a big ass lineup. Got some big ass podcasts that are going down as well. By the way, I took a day off, but it wasn't really like a day off. We've been trying to fix this whole API issue with Instagram and Facebook. So, and plus, I want to say this. Real quick. Hold on. I'm looking at all my monitors right now. It's crazy. Hold on. Monitors going insane. Monitors go insane. Anyway, like Restream. I reached out to Restream. So like, I cannot see comments. The only comments that I can see are the ones from Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now X. I can't say X. It's Twitter. Okay, I can see Twitter comments. I can see YouTube comments. I can see LinkedIn comments. Everything else, I can't see. Like, I can't see any Twitch, especially TikTok now. I can't see the comments on TikTok, which sucks because I want to see, obviously, who's on, who's talking. I want them to be a part of the conversation. I was on TikTok live. I'm dominating. And I haven't obviously told you guys to come over there. I haven't informed you guys when I'm going live on there. I'm just participating on there. I gotta say, I gotta say, you want to find a bunch of liberals, you will find them on TikTok, 100%. If you'd like to have some conversations with some liberal individuals, you will find them on TikTok, 100%. They say they invite people. They say they want to go ahead and embrace everybody who is interested in crypto. Well, I don't think that's the case, ladies and gentlemen. As I came on there, boy oh boy, the stuff that they were doing, man. I think it's because I didn't buy into their programs. I really think it's because I didn't buy into their courses. They sell courses on TikTok, okay? Unlike Twitter, obviously, on Twitter, nobody sells courses. Most of the OGs in crypto are on Twitter, Reddit, and some other places. They don't sell courses. No, they don't sell no courses. The information is free. Crypto's always been free. Now, you don't have to begrudge anybody. It's okay. That's fine. Somebody wants to sell a course. Someone wants to sell a course and say it's not. I'm not a financial advisor. Not financial advice, but I will. But you should go ahead and buy into my course. Kind of weird, but I guess because I didn't buy into a course. I've been treated. I've been treated like shit. I've been treated on like shit, and I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. So angry. I'm not angry at all. It is a different world, though. You go over to TikTok, okay? You go over to TikTok and you start doing like you start talking about crypto. Boy, oh boy, you got people talking about XRPs going to fucking $40,000. It's going to $100,000, and I'm just looking at this content. I'm like, what is happening right now? Why is anybody telling anybody that XRP is going to $40,000, $100,000? Like this is going to get new people absolutely destroyed. New people entering TikTok are going to absolutely get demolished. They are going to hold these bags for the next 45 years. Okay, hoping that this is actually going to work out, that all this shit that's being talked about is actually going to come to fruition. It's wild. I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, it is wild. It is a wild place to go ahead and visit, man. No doubt about it. It is a oh, hold on. Let me make this lower a little bit. It is definitely wild, man. Um, we bust out chops on here. We bust a lot of people's chops on here about engagement numbers or numbers in general. Let me tell you something, boys and girls. You have not seen anything yet. You literally need to go visit TikTok where where the numbers don't make sense. They don't make. I try to make sense out of them. They absolutely don't make sense. You got people that are they have a 3,000 people in the room, 3,000 people in the room, and they get one heart. By the way, speaking of hearts, I asked a question, a fair question over the weekend, while I was being heckled by three or four people. I asked a question about. I asked a random question. I'm like, can you tell me, Bitcoin's origins? When did it start? When was it created? I was told that Bitcoin came out in 2010, and I'm the problem. I was the problem because I came and I said that I scratched my head and I said 2010. Then I was told that the reason nobody something about the reason I got to look back at the tape. It was something like the reason nobody. No. Hold on. It was something about. Well, you don't have 200,000 likes on your stream. It's only at like 70 or 80. Weird. I don't know. TikTok is a weird. It's a very weird a very weird place. And I find that some of the some people who used to be on Twitter are now on TikTok. Some people who used to be on Twitter are now on TikTok, and they are trying they are trying to sell you courses. Absolutely. They are trying to sell you some courses. Um, so anybody looking for a course, by the way, so on my platform, I will help those who are struggling promote their courses. So if you would like to buy into a course, if you want to know how to leverage and you want to trade better and become a better trader, go right to TikTok. That's right. Go right to TikTok. That is the place that you need to go to. So you can go ahead and see or become somebody who wins nonstop. That's right. There are so many people out there. You got courses starting from $29 all the way to $154. They are having some special sales. You can go to the TikTok shop and pick up. I'm actually more disappointed. I would have bought a course if they went on sale, bro. Like if they had like a special discount. By the way, not to get carried away here. I'm laughing, but also I want to say that Bitcoin has just dropped under $86,000. That's right. Bitcoin has just dropped under $86,000, ladies and gentlemen. People are panicking. People are absolutely panicking. They're scared. I see a lot of people from TikTok going onto YouTube to come onto here. I got all my people that are right now tuning in on Twitter. They're dying laughing. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I will. When I have my next live on TikTok, you got to see this stuff. Like you got to see it for yourself. It has been wild. It has absolutely been wild. And I love free marketing. You guys know I love good, bad, and different. It doesn't matter. Like if you're talking about me, if you are making spaces about me, I'm absolutely fucking thrilled to see it. Like I am encouraging these things to happen. I want to see them happen. They say that they invite people in. This is the last thought on TikTok. They say that they invite people in. The TikTok community for crypto, they say that they invite people in. They want to see people come in. They want to give you a hug and tell you that you're welcomed. Well, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that at all. What I've seen was two-faced motherfuckers on that platform that came up to my panel, talked a good game, and as soon as I went away, they acted like motherfuckers would not contact me in my DMs and let me know what time it is. And I scrolled in, I stopped in for 5 minutes. Yesterday, as I was New York, obviously, we got hit with some fucking snow out here. I had some time to go ahead and just listen in. And it's funny, once a motherfucker comes into a chat, it's the silence. Oh, no, we like him. It went from bashing to, oh, no, but we like him. We like him. We like what he brings to the table. See, I ain't like these punk ass bitches, and you guys know that. Like, if I have something to say, I'ma say it. I'ma tag you in it. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I have absolutely no fucks to give. Zero. You imagine I've been in this game for 13 years and these motherfuckers just came in and all they gotta do, all they're doing is shout out to the XRP community, man. Y'all know what time it is. You know how we've always, we might have not seen eye to eye all the time, but I've held my bags for a long time along with you motherfuckers, man. I've done plenty of interviews on XRP shows, brought plenty of XRP people onto my shows. They fucking use XRP hashtags to get people into their shit. That's all it is. TikTok is XRP Central. Shout out to that, though. I respect it. I 100% respect it. And I was so nice and gracious enough to say that 5-6 content creators on there really do a really good fucking job. They're out there, they're genuine, they're really doing a good job. They're educating people, they're breaking shit down. The rest of this shit is just straight hype. This is all hype, rage bait, all of this shit. All this garbage. Absolute trash. TA talking about 19 different ways. You know how I feel about TA, about the 19 different ways we can go ahead and see this shit kind of move. Shut up. Shut up. I'm a dose of reality. That's the problem. The problem is I didn't come in hot. I just told you the truth. You thought it was me coming in hot. I didn't come in hot. I just told you about crypto. Y'all motherfuckers don't know about crypto. You guys don't know about crypto. Motherfuckers don't know about crypto. They're going to educate me about crypto. They don't know shit about crypto. As soon as I asked who Satoshi Nakamoto is, like when I asked that question about Bitcoin when it was created, what was put on the blockchain? What was the message? Silence. I'm the bad guy though. And then I'm the one who's talking about, hey, let's bring, onboarding people is crucial, right? In crypto, we all know this, especially shout out to the Twitter side. We know onboarding people is crucial. We need to make sure that we present the product correctly. They're now using my words. They're now using my words. They're talking about leverage. People people literally do not know. I was going nuts. People do not know how to look at a fucking chart. People do not know how to look at a chart. They don't understand it. If you're new coming into the space, I know you don't understand what the fuck anybody's talking about. You don't know RSI. You don't know the meaning of it. You don't know MACD. You don't know anything about a goddamn chart. What people should be doing is saying, hey, man, listen, you please don't start trading, okay? Go paper trade. Listen to me. Fine, if you're a chartist, listen to me. Look what I'm doing, okay? And then go ahead and fuck around with it. Just fuck around. Just fuck around with it. There's nothing. Look, I like Andrew Tate. We've spoken. I like Tristan. I can name you a lot of people. There are certain people that have universities. I have no problem with these universities, okay? I have no problem with course selling. Zero. I don't have any, it's a catch-22 right now. I have no problem. But these people, like Andrew Tate, for instance, he's balling out of control. Like, he's making money off of monetizing the algorithm off of every goddamn platform. So, like, the university shit, that's like whatever. That's just extra revenue coming in, man. That's just passive income coming in. That's great. But he's teaching men how to be men and stuff, Like, it's a different ball game here. It's a different ball game. But when you're nobody knows you got a brand and you're already coming out with a course. Lamb Chop, what is going on, man? What is happening? And then motherfuckers think they're gonna jump me. Motherfuckers think they're gonna jump me on the internet. Like, they don't know that Twitter, let me tell you something. If you can get past Twitter, okay? If you can be on Twitter and you can get past Twitter for a week, right? If you can survive Twitter for a week, you understand you essentially become an OG. Right? Like, if you can survive Twitter and the maniacs that are on Twitter, okay? If you can survive this place, you're unstoppable. You'll make it. I'm telling you right now, if you survive Twitter, you can definitely make money in crypto. Like, I am 100% sure of that shit. But I'm the bad guy. I'm now the bad guy. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 637. I'm the bad guy. The bad guy because he sees it for what it is. And this is not the first time I've seen shit like this. And it's just like, man, like, you know, if you're good at something, you don't have to. You can bring people into your group and you can do all this stuff legit for free. That's it. But if you're not good at something, but you have the gift of gab and you're a hustler, man, I got to tell you, it is what it is, man. I'm ranting today, but on that, I'm only ranting because I'm going to tell you what. I thought it was bygones, right? Like, hey, we shook hands. We're going to be cordial, right? After 4 or 5 days, you know, obviously some people are intimidated. They see me come in and they're like, shit, man. This guy, we know about this guy. We know this guy knows, we know this guy knows fucking crypto, man. We know he knows economics. He knows how to, he's connected. We know that. So anyway, we have a guest coming on. Stay tuned after this. We'll go to callers. Shout out to TikTok and everybody tuning in from TikTok. We'll be right back after this commercial break from Gemini. Sponsor yourselves, by the way. Sponsor yourselves. You don't need to sell courses. Sponsor yourselves. That's right. You're tuning into episode 637 of The Breakdown, sponsored by Gemini. Go to Gemini.com/David G to look at the lineup of credit cards that Gemini has to offer. From the Bitcoin credit card, the XRP credit card, and the Solana credit card, go to Gemini.com/David G for more. All credit cards issued by WebBank. That's right, WebBank. Also, click the link. Click my link from Gemini. Trade $1,000 in crypto and get $100 in Bitcoin. A lot of you guys need Bitcoin. So there you go. Look at me. I'm helping you. Okay, I'm helping you get some Bitcoin. Okay, you should thank me, especially with what's happening with the markets right now. You should definitely thank me. We'll be right back in 20 seconds.
Hello. I could hear you before, but once you let me in, it's can no longer hear your audio. I cannot. I can see your lips moving there, but I could hear you leading up to it. But once you let me in, see this. Oh. But yeah, I still can't hear any of your questions there. It's not-
Okay, there we go. And that is on me, Joe. Okay. Joe, that is on me. That's right. I'm the asshole today. Once again, I forget to unmute myself from Rodecaster. And you know how I found out? My entire audience is like, bro, you're muted. What are you doing to Joe? Joe,
You're making me go red here.
Joseph. What's
No
going on?
worries.
Thank you for coming on. I
Yeah, my
appreciate
pleasure.
it, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
How's
Thank you.
everything going, man? You shopping? Obviously, holiday season. Are you running around shopping?
Yeah, I fortunately got most of that done by now. So took advantage of those Black Friday deals. But all's well over here. Glad to be on.
Real quick before we get into it, Bitcoin went under $86,000. Are you buying or are you selling? Where are you at here?
I'm always kind of keeping my tabs on it right now. I'm always been in this for coming up on 10 years here, so I'm always interested in stacking a little more satoshis. But
all right, TradingView. Obviously, a lot of traders, a lot of successful traders, a lot of traders in general, they use TradingView. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Obviously, I know that you're limited for time, but I'd like to get your answers on it. Obviously, everybody. I don't know who else I don't know what else is out there besides TradingView, but TradingView serves complete beginners and hardcore professionals. What's the hardest product decision you've had to make where you knew one group would hate it?
So whether it's like really new traders or professional day traders, really kind of what we trying to do is just give people the like tools for making their own informed decision. And with like the crypto product strategy specifically is always kind of part of our overall like vision for years now. The more difficult decisions really came on, I guess, the regulatory issues of, for example, introducing crypto in like decentralized trading. It's something that's on something we're actively looking into, but obviously there's a lot of things that we need to figure out internally, make sure we're going about doing everything the right way, and kind of, you know, where we fit in that ecosystem is really big because, you know, we are known globally. We're super app aggregator and trying to build the ecosystem. We're trying to be at the forefront and making sure we're doing things the right way. So I guess more just on the product side that's been difficult is trying to figure out those complex regulatory things between different countries and navigating those on the crypto side.
It's getting better though now, right? Especially with the US, right?
So yeah, it's something that we're like our team's always kind of just monitoring, but there's more to consider than just in the US when you're a global company.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, you see millions of charts every day. What's the one mistake traders keep making that no indicator will ever fix, Joe?
I mean, biggest thing, I think a lot of people would agree with that greed and FOMO, really having that mental discipline to not be chasing the charts that have gone parabolic. Traders, I don't know, traders keep trying to eliminate the uncertainty instead of really managing it. And so we really try to build out all the tools for the education aspect of things to give the traders all the information to make those informed decisions. For example, like we got the paper trading to kind of battle test your strategies before putting them to real test with your hard-earned money.
When you look at the data, who actually trades more emotionally? Is it crypto traders or is it stock traders? And why?
I would say, I mean, not like having the data in front of me, but just off like a gut reaction is more, I would say the crypto traders are more emotional given a few factors, being the volatility is higher, which causes the FOMO. This causes FOMO, panic selling, etc. Then beyond that, the stock market's a lot more like institutionally dominant as opposed to the retail participation dominant on crypto side, and being that the markets are running 24/7 rather than the closing bells or cool off periods in the traditional stock settings. And I think crypto traders are a lot more like news sensitive in the price that's more narrative driven. I'm sure we've all seen those ones that are, this is the like the ETH killer, the next Bitcoin, this one's like AI backed on that. So we've all seen those, and people are more quick to buy into things with that might lack some fundamentals. But that's not to say that like all crypto traders are strictly all emotional traders, or that like retail traders in stocks are not strictly rational traders. I think it's a delicate dance.
Welcome to the breakdown, by the way, everybody. Episode 637, sponsored by Gemini. We're joined by Joe from TradingView. Everyone says AI will replace traders. From what I've been able to see, does AI make people better traders, or is it just more confident, or are they just more confident in their bad decisions?
Yeah. So obviously in crypto, and being at TradingView, where a lot of these crypto companies are using our charts, I've seen a lot more of a fair amount of new AI companies joining the crypto ecosystem. Ultimately, I think that AI can be a useful tool for understanding whether it's just the fundamentals behind a project. There's a lot of ways that AI can enhance a trader's process outside without even just using the predictive aspect of it. There's always going to be like a need of innovation and adjustments to how traders approach their markets and how they manage their risks, because there's always going to be some new risk introduced to the market. So it's really the human oversight that will always be the important factor when it comes to AI. I guess like TradingView, we don't really have much the AI strategy outside just indicator stuff that we have, but we do offer like traders the ability to automate their strategies and code on their own, back testing with them, and then they can go live. So they can just design their own strategies using TradingView's technology too. But we have seen a rise in some AI trading platforms and in recent years. And there's actually other parts too, like where like AI looking into for like stocks and stuff, the meeting notes and stuff, and where AI can summarize that and give you some of the more prudent information when you are investing. So I do think that there is use for AI in trading.
Do you see you guys going heavy into AI in the future, or?
It's always something I think all companies are kind of looking into, seeing how they can. We are looking at for like the AI for providing some information to people about like summarizing whether it's like the company financials and how we can plot that onto TradingView. So it is always something I think that AI is similar to crypto, where it's not going anywhere. It's only going to be it's here to stay. So I think all companies are trying to figure out how they can best use that and best serve their users with that.
One last question for you, because I know I got you here for a limited time. After watching millions of traders win and lose in real time, what's the truth about trading most people don't want to hear?
Mostly just that like education really is important. You need to understand the instruments that you're investing in, and like before you're investing in them, being able to understanding the trends, and that people don't really lose because they're bad at predicting the markets. They're losing because they can't really manage themselves, or really aren't fully understanding what they're getting into. Something that I think that a lot of people, they just hear like, oh yeah, people are investing into Bitcoin, I'm just going to do that. They're not understanding. They're not really understanding like the power of why people are really big on it, or into cryptocurrency on the decentralized side of things too. And so I think that, really understanding what you're getting into is important.
One question to you. Do you think somebody before you leave, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think somebody just coming into crypto, or into even in the stock market, traditional markets, Would you encourage them to trade immediately, or would you say that, hey, maybe you should just sit back for a week or two, get a good understanding of this, and maybe just go and paper trade before you take every cent to your name and jump into the markets?
E- Exactly. Yeah, paper trade. That's why we have the feature, or I guess Trading Views model. You'll see it's like look first, then leap. So that's looking at the charts, understanding the charts, understanding what we have to offer, and then before you take that, as I mentioned at the beginning here, it's the education and giving everyone the tools is really what we're aiming for with TradingView, whether it's the beginning traders or the seasoned veterans who've gone through plenty of bull and bear markets over the years. Can all kind of have that sentiment there. I believe it's pretty important to understand that. So I would say paper trading is always a very important thing to understand first.
For me, I did paper trading before I actually started, taking my money and putting it into the markets. I'm talking that's a long time ago, but still, like to me, that was the most effective way to understand how how to understand how the markets work and how to really to really trade.
That's how I got like I started with trading too. Was trading paper trading stuff. That was my first introduction to actually placing some trades and trying to follow some charts to understand um, how they're moving. Learned a lot there, but some at least it wasn't my hard-earned money that I was trying to figure out the strategies on the paper trading. So
I appreciate you, and I appreciate TradingView. You guys do a hell of a job,
yeah,
um, and I appreciate you for coming on. Hopefully, we can get you on later down the months to go ahead and talk about more people coming into the industry. Right now, it seems like, but like it seems like retail isn't back yet. But hopefully, in a few months, we'll go ahead and see a little bit more people start jumping
yeah,
into crypto, and
fingers
starting to
crossed there.
participate.
Yeah. Hopefully that would be a nice start to 2026.
Absolutely.
All
All right. Have a
right. Thank
great
you so
one.
much. Have a wonderful day. Pleasure
You
talking.
too, man.
Bye.
That was Joseph. Joseph's from TradingView, and we all use TradingView. Anybody who's out here who actually trades, we're on TradingView, right? We're using TradingView. Everybody's using TradingView. Every platform, for the most part, is using TradingView or allowing you to use TradingView. Even you guys who go to Pump Fund, right? Pump Fund. You guys on Pump Fund? When you look at them charts, it says TradingView. But even them, even them. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. We'll talk more about the markets. Um, by the way, I just wanted to say, because I saw a comment, 2 to 3 weeks, when I just said to Joe, it's not 2 to 3, it's an expression in New York. 2 to 3 weeks means like, motherfucker, wait a few months before you actually participate in the markets. Don't blow yourself up. That's what we're talking about. Don't go ahead and get wrecked. Okay. I get it. You bought a course for $350, but just chill, wait. Anyway, we'll be right back after this commercial break. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Gemini 637, episode 637. The breakdown. Sponsored by Gemini. Go to gemini.com/David G to learn more about the credit cards that Gemini has to offer. Also, go to my link, the Gemini link, trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. We'll do call ins. That's right. You can call into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Call into the show. You can call into the show. And the number to call in is 347-630-2399. We'll be right back. And once again, the program is sponsored by Gemini. That's right. Sponsored by Gemini, episode 637. Go to Gemini.com/David G. Also go to my link, the Gemini link, which has my beautiful face on it. Click on it. Join Gemini. Trade $1,000 in crypto. Get $100 in Bitcoin. Let's fucking go. Hello, I'm back. Hello, I'm back. There we go. You can call into the show for the next 20 minutes. You can go ahead and call into the show. It is 347-630-2399. My staff is telling me that crypto Twitter is going crazy. Obviously, I can't see it, but they're saying that there are a few people that are just absolutely losing their shit. I feel so bad. Oh my God. Yes. You deserve to lose your shit. You deserve to lose everything. I don't really give a fuck. You know why? Do you know why? Because I made a truce and you fucking two-faced son of a bitches, okay? Two-faced. Y'all are two-faced. I just want you to know that. Okay? You guys are two-faced son of a bitches. Y'all don't know anything about charts, okay? I got killers on my team, and I'm talking about killers when it comes to chart analysis, fundamentals. Y'all don't stand a chance that we do this for free. We do this shit for free. I told you. Leave me alone. That's what I said. Leave me alone. I said we can be friends. We can be friends. Anyway, you can go ahead and call in right now. The number. I think people are calling in, and yet I am not catching it. Oh my God. My bad. People are actually calling in. Shit. We had 9 people calling just now. My fault. See, the problem is on TikTok. Today is a TikTok event, man. Today is I am giving you motherfuckers some love. Today is a TikTok event. I love Twitter. You know I love Twitter and X. Hold on, we got. Who knows who we got calling right now? Let's see who it is, though. Don't worry, we're on delay too. So, what's going on? Yo, what's going on?
Hello? Yeah, who's this?
You just called me. You called the breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, Peep, do you understand that's probably a TikTok person? Okay? That's probably a TikTok person. 100%. I'm just proving my point. I don't want to be this way. I really don't want to be this way. I really don't. I don't want to be this way. I'm a nice guy, man. Like, if you get to know me, I'm really cool, man. I'm a really nice dude. I respect everybody's business, man. I don't really, like, y'all got butthurt when I came on, and I just kept it 100. I said, the shit that's on here is complete dog shit. Everybody got so butthurt by that shit, man. Like, oh no, how dare you? Why would you say such a thing? Why would you say the truth? Why would you tell everybody the truth about us, man? You know what the fucked up part about this is? I really try to make peace. Like, I really, obviously, I think TikTok is a great platform, even though, like, the policies are just horrendous. I mean, like, if you're not a liberal, you can't talk, man. Like, they will, you got to walk on eggshells in order to go ahead and say something on TikTok. But, like, obviously, as we grow and we're going to, we'll be on YouTube and we're doing lives on there, particularly just for YouTube. Same thing that we're doing with TikTok. Try to be friendly, say hi, have some sort of nice discourse here, man. I just want to say hi. We don't want to fight. Nobody wants to fight. We want to make money. Here to make money. I make money, not fight with you. Landy, it's happening again, man. Landy, by the way, one of the true professionals in charts is backstage, and he will be joining us at 1:15. We'll go ahead and chop it up with Landy. Hopefully some of you guys get educated on TikTok, and I'm gonna be pressing TikTok right now because I thought to myself yesterday. I said to myself, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase. I'm going to bring on so many people from the crypto space, well-known people with good brands that really know how to articulate themselves, know everything about specific topics, just like I do. And we're going to have a conversation. We'll just go shoot the shit, and we will show you how it's done. That's right. We will show you how it's done. You wanted to take it there, I'm taking it there. You wanted to have your little spaces, your little emergency meetings. Oh my God, a Twitter bro is coming on. Encouraging people to use leverage. We're just coming into the space. Are y'all kidding me? Hold on, let's pick this up. Who's this? Let's see who this is. Hold on. You're calling into the breakdown. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
You're on the breakdown. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, I'm Warren. You had space.
Say that again?
Yeah. I'm Warren, if you remember me.
I remember you, Warren. What's going on?
Yeah, I think you had a great comment days ago when we talked each other and after the attack happened yesterday. So what do you think about like the deportations? So do you think that in the countries that give, the people who are under attack, so the Second Amendment, like America, or giving them like at least a safe place, like a safe police to protect them? So should those minorities, like for example, Jewish people in Australia or France or the United Kingdom, should they leave those countries? Or like they can stay and they will not get attacked by the Islamists in the future? So what do you think the solution, what's the solution for those people?
Warren, thanks for the call, and I'll answer that. The solution is, Jesus Christ, you know what the solution is? Can we finally find peace? Is there a way to find peace on this planet? Is there a fucking way that we can all be peaceful and live, just fucking live without the violence? Is there a way? Is there a fucking way that we can do that? Because the debating, it's never going to end. Okay, everybody's going to have a fault with each side. Can we finally just live with each other? That would be great. It would absolutely be phenomenal. You imagine we all are able to just live, okay? Just live. Taking away the Second Amendment, taking away guns. I love how people say, well, get rid of the Second Amendment. That's not the answer, because people can go out and purchase shit, illegally, man. Like, well, what are we talking about? The nonsense. It's crazy. You act like, oh, we're gonna take away the Second Amendment, and nobody's gonna find a way to find a weapon. They will absolutely 100%. People, if they want to, they will. Okay, it's unfortunate. Listen, man, we are living in a time where this society is heavily divided, and it's not just in America; it's everywhere. It is divided. The rules that are being put in place. Look at Australia. It's horrible. It's horrible. Australia is horrible. There are countries that like don't let you speak. Look at the UK. That's horrible. You say something on social media, you get arrested. That is weird, man. That is weird. We're playing with fire, man. We are playing with fire. That's all I gotta say. Welcome to the breakdown. It's absolutely crazy, man. I gotta say, it is absolutely insane. Right now, if you see me looking into the other direction, I'm just trying to get Monitor 1 has just gone down. That's right. Monitor 1 just has gone down. And I'm trying to get it up again. Relax. No Diddy. There we go. We're up again. Hopefully it stays up. That's what she said. We are back. We are back. No, but people are coming out here and talking about get rid of the Second Amendment. I'm like, that's not the fucking solution. That's not the answer, man. Like, do we need better, background checks? Yeah, you can go ahead and do better background checks. But again, like, that's not going to stop this problem, man. When people hate people, that's the serious problem. That's the problem that you got to touch on. That's something you have to touch on. Yeah, I'm getting like 10 phone calls now, like one after another. People are trying to call in and talk. But I have Landy here. We might have more people call in later on, but we have Landy here, so I wanted to go ahead and talk a little crypto. Let's talk about crypto. Since Bitcoin, it looks like it's going to zero, might as well bring in Landy, who is, I don't know what you got a new name? Well, anyway, shout out to Landy. Landy is now with us. Landy, what's going on, man?
How you doing, David?
I'm doing great, man. I am. I don't know. I don't know if you've been watching me. Obviously, I don't know if you've been watching me on TikTok, but I've gone over to TikTok for 4 or 5 days just to say hello to the crowd that does follow me and to make, to expand the brand. Nothing wrong with expanding the brand and building, right?
Yeah.
And I went over there and it started good. I was like, oh my God, it's nice here. And then I got assaulted by Landy. I got assaulted by a lot of people. I was absolutely I was traumatized. I gotta say, I was traumatized.
I heard you found XRP Army over there.
Bro, okay, hold on. I hold XRP, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not delusional. Okay, I've been holding XRP longer than a lot of these motherfuckers that are giving out courses. Like, I've been with these hands are diamond hands when it comes to XRP, okay?
Kind of have to be.
Fuck diamond hands, the diamond wrist, bro, to hold these bags.
Well, look, you got to have some strong belief in where things are potentially headed, but it's all potential. And it's been potential for a very long time. Look, no shade against them. Look, they're it's a big audience of holders, and I wish them well on their trek to whatever they think that token price is going to go to. But I did need
No,
to
but
tell
it's not
you,
even them, Landy. Like,
well,
so you have my whole thing is like, I didn't start the beef, by the way. I just, you know what, Landy, you know me already. Like, I just made certain things obvious. All right, Landy, me and you have been in crypto a long time, right? Like, maybe you've been in crypto longer than me. I'm 13 years. You're probably more than that.
it's probably going on. It's 15. Next year it'll be 16 years.
Okay, so 13, you're 15, 16, cool. Bro, I asked a question. Landy, I asked, okay, before I say what question I asked, when we came into this industry, right? Let's say when you came into this industry, do we charge for information?
No. The whole point was to try and get people in and teach them to come and get involved. See, when I got in, it was all about getting involved and supporting the network, right? Whatever network that was, whatever your allegiance to those networks was, it was about getting in, getting people to hold the token and then get interested in how this thing works and why it works and what problems it can solve. That was the whole point. If I was charging for that information, no one would have ever listened to me. And it was already a challenge to get them to listen to me in the first place.
So here you are on your own time, right? And you do things on your own time still till this day, right? If you wanted to, you could charge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like there would be no problem with it because like you you've been here long enough to say like, hey, I can, like, and you do obviously excellent TA, one of the best TA guys out there. You can literally say, you know what, I'm starting a TA university, and like, if people tuned into you for free, they already would have been ahead of the game. But if you actually had a paid course,
Yeah.
hey, like motherfuckers will really learn a lot of things. So you could do this, but you haven't. Okay, you've been coming on every single day, even on weekends, which is crazy.
Yes.
Breaking the markets down, not just the crypto markets, but the traditional markets from a macro standpoint. And we love
Yep.
you, and a lot of people love you. You crazy little puppet. Okay, we love you for that.
Yeah.
I came on to TikTok, and I did the TikTok lives, not like here multi-streaming. It's just specifically TikTok. I
Mhm.
wasn't trying to make enemies. I didn't come there with the intentions of shaking people around and throwing them and being nasty and cruel. No. I came on saying like, hey man, I just sat back and I listened to 4 hours of videos that was straight up ass. Okay? What I got out of it was like 5 or 6 people are good at what they're doing.
Mhm.
The rest of these people are just hype men. Okay, you know what I said they should be doing? They should be selling items on the TikTok shop, and they'd make more money selling like a bicycle or a scooter from the TikTok shop than they would, working in crypto. I didn't say nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
at the end of the day, if we're trying to bring people in, now they're using my lines about like how we should be bringing people in and building helping them understand this space. I define that from a foundational standpoint, like just in layman's terms, like what this space is all about, like why it was created, why Satoshi Nakamoto came up with it, right? Like little things like that to get them to understand like why we're so fucking bullish on this space, why we wake up in the morning and we're excited regardless of what color the chart is, whether it's green or red. We're excited about this industry because we're moving into a digital world, and we know what Bitcoin and some of these other assets can do for us.
Mhm.
That's how I
Yeah.
came on there, and I got jumped. I got
Yeah.
jumped. I didn't do nothing. Landy, I'm telling you, I didn't do nothing. Yeah. Did I throw a F-bomb here? But that's my personality. I'm from New York. I don't know. That's how I speak. I got jumped. It was horrific. It was horrific.
Somehow I think you were able to hold your own. But I'm not surprised that you got jumped. I'm not surprised.
Bro, somebody should have warned me. Somebody should have warned me, man. I was gonna jump because I'm messing with people's money now. These fucking
Yes.
courses. You know what I heard, Landy? Well, help me understand this because you're smarter than me. Fuck it. I'm not smart. Let's say I'm not smart, right? Landy, you're smart.
Okay. All right.
Would you encourage anybody just entering the market to go into leverage?
No. No.
So
you shouldn't be
all I
entering the
heard on
market if you can't
TikTok
read a
is
chart.
go into leverage.
Okay. Yeah, that's some bullshit, quite honestly. Sorry. If you don't know what this market is, if you don't know how to read a chart, you shouldn't even be trading it. You should not even be looking to take a long or a short. If you're interested in something and you want to buy it, pick a spot and buy it. But even then, you should know where it is that you want to buy it at, right? Do you want to buy it on deep discount or do you want to buy it at a premium, right? You should probably know where the levels of interest are for the chart, if not for not for others to validate yourself, but for where you want to buy. Right? If you're trying to DCA into these markets and you have no concept for where price could potentially go to the downside or upside, how the hell are you going to DCA? Right? You better at least have a number in your head that you would like to buy that thing at. Right? So, and to advise that anyone take leverage or a leverage position in these markets is just is just it's just leading lambs to slaughter. I'll be quite honest. And if they have something to sell, that's typically all right. The sales tactic is you tell people to get into leverage positions, trade the market, they get wrecked, and then they come to you so that they can buy their course to learn how to trade it. Right. That is usually the play in those types of games. And that's a really nasty way to sell your product, is to sell yourself as the savior once somebody gets wrecked, because then they're desperate to learn and they've already lost money and they're willing to try to do anything to get it back. And you catch people in times of desperation, and I think that's shady. And it's one of the things that I started to combat around 2019, 2018, 2019. Coming out of the bear market lows, we were rallying up in crypto across the board with traditional markets, and we hit monthly all-time highs, right? The prior monthly all-time high, and then started to reject. Well, interest was back because price was rising. And then you had a whole bunch of chartists come out, and they would pitch in every single dead ICO coin, um, telling people what the levels were and how to trade it. And here's my links and all that kind of stuff. And on the back of that, they always had something to sell. And they sucked. Not only did they suck for what they were teaching in terms of materials, they sucked at everything that they talked about because their levels were wrong. Every call they got was wrong, and they just delete the wrong calls, take down the videos, say that people misunderstood what they said. They take down the posts. They do anything. But if you wanted the real alpha now, you needed to go to their private group and you needed to buy in. And they were just grifting audiences, and some of them built very large audiences, and then would just get them into random coins, and then they had supply of those coins and they dump it on their foreheads. So I decided, like, you know what? These guys all suck. This would be very easy for me to get in and take this game over. So I did. Look, I too am over there on TikTok right now. If you can't see,
I can't see the comments on Restream.
Okay.
So
So if
I don't know
if
what's
you
happening. I just and that's probably better. You know why? Because when you
Probably.
go live on TikTok and you're watching the comments, it's just like 4 or 5 people that are just like, and maybe a few others. I guess they're paid off to go into like certain chats and like try to quiet it down.
Yeah.
Shut up. Courses are great.
Look, it's funny because you can tell I'm on TikTok now because my name is Len Mello and I'm wearing my basketball jersey with the number 67 on it. And I've spent a little bit too much time there. Now I've evolved into understanding some of the memes there, and I'm a little scared. But also, I sent you a message over the weekend, or maybe it was, yeah, it had to have been over the weekend, right? Uh, where I said, like, look, I'm looking at the landscape, and I'm like, I'm looking at people who are doing charting and said there's a few good ones, right? I'm looking at people who are sharing like honest information, and then I'm looking at everyone else, and I'm like, there is a it is like a desert out here in terms of actual good information about what's happening in the market,
Yeah.
whether from an informational point of view and from understanding, what's happening via interviewing some of the top people in the industry, like what you do, and from a technical point of view, from understanding what's happening in terms of price action in the market, like why is price going up or why is price going down from an auction point of view. And it's I'm going to go over and I'm going to dominate that game. Lamelo Ball is here to ball out on TikTok. And I will, once I start uploading there, and hopefully they don't just get rid of me like they have every other account that I uploaded from. They seem to be a little bit more friendly to crypto these days than when I was there last time and had started to build out a pretty good following. And then I got nixed. And that's where I think that it'd be very easy to take that game over with real information and honest discussions.
So let's give them a little taste, right? You want to give them a little taste of how you actually go ahead and break or look at a chart. Do you want to do that, Landy?
Sure.
Let's do that. For those that are tuning in, obviously, you guys who are on Twitter, you already know what time it is. You already know. All right? 100% it's undeniable. You already know what time it is. But there are people now that are tuning in from YouTube and especially on 100% on TikTok. Okay. They believe that, hey, see me, Landy, you know me. Like I can trade, but I choose to spot buy and I choose to DCA and I choose to sell into the green, not the red. So
Yeah. It's pretty simple.
simple strategy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to go ahead and break down, like, I went on there and the 2-3 conversations that I was able to have without the trolls in there, I was trying to break down like the mindset that you have to have when you go into crypto and any market. And that is like, you can't be emotional and you got to be laser focused. And like, you got to learn like, what are these things, man? Like what is what does XRPL do? Like if I ask somebody a question, and they might be more. I'll give them a little bit credit over there on TikTok. They might know what XRPL does, okay? Because the XRP army is on there, and people that are fascinated by XRP, they're on there, 100%. But I asked them about Bitcoin, they get mad at me. I asked them when Bitcoin landed. I asked a woman, and it's not gender specific, but I'm just saying it was a woman. I asked her because she wagged her finger at me. I asked her, can you tell me when Bitcoin was created? She said 2008. I said, when did Bitcoin go online? She said 2010. Landy, I was confused myself.
Mm-hmm.
I literally was a little, and then I asked her, you know what? Tell me what Satoshi wrote on the chain. No clue. My whole thing is I'm not trying to embarrass anybody. Like that's not my thing. My thing is that if I'm new and somebody's telling me that Bitcoin came out in 2010 and I don't need to go ahead and think about Bitcoin, who cares about it? Okay. And we have to focus on this and this only. I mean, that in itself is a crock of shit. And that's what I believe. And I say that respectfully. But it's the New Yorker that they can't stand, right? They can't stand a New Yorker. And plus they've seen the TikToks. And they're like, oh shit, this guy's a Republican too. MAGA guy. Now I gotta listen to this motherfucker, right? That irritates. I don't know what irritates them more. That like I do, that I am knowledgeable about the space and that like their fucking subscription plans are about to go to zero, or it's the MAGA shit. Anyway, let's go to your chart so we can go ahead and demonstrate what free and actually excellent charting looks like. So let's go right here. Let's bring that up. Landy, by the way, anybody tuning in, the breakdown episode 637, sponsored by Gemini. We're live here with Landy. Okay, Landy is literally one of the best TA guys that you will ever find on any network. And it just so happens to be that he's a part of the GNN network. Landy, by all means, the show's yours.
Well, I appreciate it, David. Look, I've been tracking price accurately for a long time, as you know. And one of the key areas that I was looking for very early on was 123 to 125. A few things that I want to note about that is at the time on higher term timeframes, this was an area of interest on the monthly. And I use a Bollinger Band set. You don't really need to know what this does other than measure volatility from a base or a baseline. In this case, it's a 20 simple moving average, which is just taking the last 20 candles and averaging out the price. And in this case, we were looking for somewhere around 123 to 125. We went over. We got a shot towards 126. The main reason that I bring this up is Bitcoin has had a very interesting cycle so far, where off of the lows in 2022 at 15.5 for spot price, we had to move back to a basis band or a 20 simple moving average because we had a deeper move down than structurally than we had seen in cycles past, where we had reclaimed a prior high, right? We tried to sit on it back here in 22 during the summer, and then we actually breached below and reclaimed a prior high. And as Bitcoin has evolved in terms of its volatility, you probably have heard like that over time, that Bitcoin is going to become less volatile, right? And that's actually what we've seen. And the reason why is because it went up like 410 million% versus gold, and then has been in a consolidation since 2021 versus gold. It went up exponentially more versus traditional fiat based markets as well, and has been in a consolidation essentially versus those markets. And we're seeing that being reflected on the actual Bollinger Band or volatility based set or indicator. One of the big things that you need to understand about this is that Bitcoin is compressing on longer term timeframes like a monthly and a quarterly. And the biggest thing to understand out of this for monthly and quarterly consolidations is that it's going to resolve one of two ways. It's either going to resolve to the upside here with not me drawing a box. I didn't actually want to draw that, but we'll go ahead and get rid of that. It's either going to resolve to the upside by closing above 126, which at some point it will someday. Whether it's sooner rather than later remains to be seen. But that would kick off expansion to the upside. Or it's going to resolve with expansion to the downside. And that would be below this lower second down here, which would be $52,000. And then we're looking for expansion in a pretty deep correction down to some areas here. But one of the reasons why it's felt a little bit different is because we've had this compressive look on price action since we came out of the lows and shifted into a bull market. So we actually got initial downside expansion for the first time ever in Bitcoin's history on the monthly in a bear market. It's first downside expansion that Bitcoin's ever gotten. And then when we mean reverted, we went back into a compression, right? It was reverting back to the mean to go and test towards the failed higher low here, didn't actually close the higher low, and then move up towards the higher high. And then we started to move up. We had a new all-time high prior to the halving, and then it's been very structured in terms of its downside moves ever since. And quite literally looks like it wants to put in a macro top here. And many would argue that it already has. But the biggest thing to understand about this is over time, as Bitcoin has matured and the volatility decreases, we get these longer time frame compressions, and we will continue to see this like on a quarterly. This will be the first bull market that Bitcoin's ever had, where on the quarterly we did not get volatility expansion. All you need to see is this line dropping off the bottom of the screen is because price is getting above the upside bands here and kicking off the bull market expansions. And this will be the first time that we've been in a bull market that we have not seen that quarterly expansive phase. What does this really mean in the long run? Well, anyone that is in Bitcoin, like myself, will tell you that what this means is that at some point this will resolve in an expansion to the upside. There's only one way that this is going to go, and that is an expansion to the upside. The demand is there. Institutional demand, we got governments, corporations, DATs, whatever, right? Whatever happens between now and then, the demand is already there. So even if we get distribution out of these DATs or governments sell or Sailor gets liquidated, which is not something that I'm looking forward to having to talk about if he does get below 1 MNAV for the sake of people's health, which, by the way, he has 21 months of runway. He's not going to sell as soon as they go under 1 MNAV. You have to be aware of the conversion and continued selling under 1 MNAV. So that's the real issue there. But I don't look at them having to distribute any of their treasury or do anything interesting in that regard until they're out of that 21-month clock. But doesn't really matter whatever happens from here. If you understand the economics of Bitcoin, if you understand how powerful this network is now, moving from 200 terahashes to 1 zettahash, 200 exahashes to 1 zettahash in the span of 3 years. then you understand that this is a very desirable asset that's going to resolve to the upside in terms of expansion in longer term timeframes. It's just a matter of where are we now and what do we look for coming into like the shorter term. Right now, Bitcoin's right on a key level, one standard deviation away from a 20 simple on the quarterly, right around $85,000. When we come all the way down to a daily, Bitcoin is just trapped in between some weekly levels here. So we'll go ahead and kind of point out that we're in a weekly expansion to the downside off of the highs real quick. We had a nice uptrend off of the trend break to the downside here, a little bit of a lower high, lower low into the 74.4 region. Q1 to Q2 transition, tariff stuff, had a nice uptrend, put in a higher low, higher high, and then trend broke to the downside. Now, we also went into a compression at the highs, and then we've gotten expansion to the downside. Each step of the way, Bitcoin has played very nicely with the weekly zones, which I'll turn on now, and I'll turn off expansive posture here. And this is essentially weekly zones of interest with a few extras built in. Nothing too crazy here. There's a lot of weeklies, right? So we have the weekly highs over here. This was a high. This was a high. This was a high, not marked. But realistically, we had high side weekly here with some weekly highs in here. And then we had a higher low here, a higher low here, right? We had a higher low here on a close, a lower high, and then we had some lower lows over here. Bitcoin has played very, very cleanly with these weeklies. And right now, Bitcoin is trapped between a 93.5 weekly higher low close and an $86,000 lower high close. Now, this is in terms of closing. It's trapped in here. But it has come down and tested this next weekly area right around 80,500 or so, a little bit deeper on some perp charts. And the next big downside area, if it does go and sweep that low, would be essentially 80,000 to 78. If it drops it, we're looking to that big monthly level and weekly level in the mid 70s, possibly more to the downside. But if it does break above 93.5, we've got a volume area of interest around 96 before coming up to the weekly that was lost before the move down here. So Bitcoin was hanging out on some key weeklies up here between 107 and 108. This was a higher low, tried to hold it over here for a couple of weeks. It closed below it, and at the same time, it tagged the next weekly down below. It retested that weekly level right there at 107, 108, and then dropped the weekly higher low over here and went for the next area here at this weekly higher low with this candle. And then it dropped to the next weekly area, tagged inside of there. This was a lower high, and then it went straight to this lower low weekly. And now it's just trapped in this area. When looking at the daily, it's pretty easy to identify what's going on here. If we drop the weekly at 86 here on the daily, we're looking down to this swing low, possibly even this guy here. 86 to like 83.5 becomes the play. Anywhere below there, I'm looking back to 80 to 78 down here. If that drops, I'm looking down to mid 70s. If we see that this can hang out in this zone between 86 and right around 80 without falling through or front running $80,000 and then could reclaim 86, we have a common swing point between a higher low and a lower high that needs to be recovered for price action around 89. And then we can look right back to the top side where Bitcoin has kind of been closing inside of at 93.5. Above there, we can entertain trips to 96 to 98 and then try for a reclaim of that big weekly level that was lost before retesting bearishly up here. And that's 98 to 101. I'm not looking for anything more, to be quite honest. I mean, Bitcoin's already tested to the downside. This week is the last full week of trading for traditional markets. Next week, we'll have a half day on the 24th and then a day off on the 25th. A lot of traders are already on vacation. And then, of course, we have the end of the month, the week after, right? New Year's. So a lot of people are already going to be off. A lot of what's happening in markets is going to be on lower liquidity. Beware of shenanigans in markets as well. If you're looking for a why, it's price-based, right? Price leads narrative. So if you look at the chart and you say, "Oh man, price is going down. What happened?" Well, what happened was price is selling off, and you're going to find out the news later as to why.
Landy, and by the way, everybody, welcome to the breakdown, episode 637, sponsored by Gemini. Shout out to Gemini. Go to gemini.com/David G. Look at the lineup of credit cards. Get points. Get points. Points elsewhere, man. Get crypto back. They got the Bitcoin credit card, got the XRP credit card, got the Solana credit card, up to 4% back on your purchases in crypto. And obviously click the link, join Gemini, trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. All right. Can you explain to people about, real quick, before you get back into the charts, about what mining has everything to do with price?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. So I'll show you a pretty easy chart here. This is from Luxor Mining. They do a pretty good job with tracking like hash rate on the network. So I'll just share this real quick. We had an exponential growth in mining from 22 all the way to now. Exponential growth from 22 till now, from the bear market till now. We went from 200 exahashes to 1 zettahash. It's kind of incredible how powerful this chart is here. But at the end of the day, what does this really mean? Well, we have a hash price. Bitcoin's price matters as it relates to the network itself. And Bitcoin's price is relative to the profitability of mining. The one key thing to understand about Bitcoin mining and proof of work networks like this is that there's a difficulty rate. And we have I can actually pull up mempool. It's a little bit cleaner chart to actually look at this. We have, as hash rate increases, difficulty on the network increases. And that's to help balance things out. It's kind of like setting it's setting the ceiling and then setting the floor as difficulty adjusts up and down. And what this means is that realistically, what we have to understand about the network is the network itself controls, has a big, plays a big role in controlling the price. This is kind of the genius of what Satoshi built here. You can see that this red line is difficulty. This multicolored line is a hash rate with a moving average on it. I believe this is a 7-day moving average. Might be a 3-day. Not quite sure. This one might be, no, this might be a longer moving average. Either way, what you have is the hash rate rising, right? And then difficulty adjusts up with it. Well, what happens when difficulty is higher than the hash rate, essentially? Well, that means that unprofitable miners switch off, right? They turn off. And this means that hash rate will drop. And what do miners do? Well, they have a business to operate. So they're in the business of mining and selling Bitcoin. And when they're above, difficulty, they're both hodlers and they will drip out, but they're usually hodling because they're mining in profit, right? During times like this, where hash rate is over difficulty, they're hodling and they're mining in profit. And then they'll continue to do so, like on the way up here, right? And into October, specifically in the early part of October, you'll see that hash rate was rising aggressively. And what happened here was that we had difficulty get over top of hash rate, which means that miners are starting to shut off because they're not marginal miners, or the least efficient miners will turn off, and they'll usually expend some of their treasury, or they'll be loss leaders, meaning that they will mine and sell immediately to cover for runway. And somebody stepped into the market around that time on the 6th and dumped out a whole bunch of spot, which kicked off sell-off in Bitcoin, which was systemic across all of the alts and memes and everything else. Yes, I get that there was a whole bunch of other factors with oracles and this and that, but what you have to understand is somebody stepped into the market. Somebody sophisticated who understands this concept on the mining side and stepped in the market and sold. Well, miners were already selling. Okay. They're expending some of their treasury. They're giving themselves some runway. They're turning off machines, right? Because their margins are being squeezed. We had a nice little rebound in through mid-October, but we had already broken down in terms of trend. So we came from the all-time high and we broke down to like 107 on spot, 101 on derivatives. So price was in a downtrend or a trend break. And as we started to rise back up towards 116, 118, the network adjusted down. Hash rate rose quickly, meaning machines are now profitable at lower levels in terms of price, right? So when price was at $126,000, there were certain machines on the network that weren't profitable. So they had to shut down. That means that you're also getting miners that are selling, right? Because they're taking profits because price is high, but we have to shut down machines. It makes sense to take profits. So we're sellers. Somebody also steps in and sells and forces price down. We get a difficulty adjustment down, which means that we can turn machines back on and they'll be profitable at lower price levels, right? And then hash rate rised. We hit like 116, 118. Difficulty adjustments adjusted up. Miners got underwater, start turning off those marginal machines, which just means the unprofitable machines switch off. We become net sellers at resistance at 116 to 118. Market forces also take over there and we head down. So the dynamic between Bitcoin miners and actual price is that when price is rising aggressively, hash rate will too, because miners can stay on, but then difficulty chases. Every 2 weeks, difficulty will chase until it catches up and it will set a cap. Now, the market either needs to continue to rise with difficulty, but if we get a pause or a correction and difficulty catches up, miners become net sellers with the rest of the market. The market falls with miners being a key part of that. And this works in the other way as well. If we go back to, 3 years or all time, we can zoom into 2021. Where's 21? So we're all the way. This is how much the network has grown, by the way, since the last market. It's insane, the growth. So anybody that thinks that like Bitcoin is going to go away, it's going to go. Yeah, okay. Tell me that.
Apparently TikTok is the only social media platform that thinks that Bitcoin is going to go to zero.
Somebody said that good mining conversation with the TA was not. Why? Because I told you that price was going to go down. Because it's actually going down currently. And I'm telling you the levels to watch.
I'm not looking at I can't see the comments.
I'm watching them. I'm in the chat. I said hi to them. But yeah, people who don't understand TA think that anything that I say to the downside or the upside is either wrong. But if you watch my TA for any length of time, you'll understand that I'm pretty accurate. And have been for a long time. I got a good track record and they're all recorded, so you can always go back and watch. But back here in 21, you'll see that in May, you'll see that this is really, really tough to see actually. So let's zoom in here, right? So if you look here in May of 21, you might remember that we had that spring dump off, right?
Yeah.
What was happening with hash rate? It spiked up, difficulty adjusted, and then we had the big sell off, right? That's $65,000. And then we went down, and as hash rate just nuked, we had a hash crash. This was the post halving capitulation event. So once we had that hash crash and then difficulty caught up, it got underneath of hash started to rise. And then it stayed ahead of difficulty as the market rose to $69,000 in through 22, right around May of 22. We all remember what happened then. Hash was on its way up, difficulty got over top, market dumped out, and then we went into a downtrend into 22, into the lows. So it's just the interplay helps to set the ceiling and the floor. And those who actually understand the network and trade the token can identify really good areas of opportunity, which is why I was so confident in in my call at 123 to 125 to be at minimum a local top. And that's been confirmed on the monthly. And if not, a macro top, because it's very close to cycle timing theory. I know you don't care for the 4-year cycle talk. But the one thing that Saylor and all these DATs and everybody's had a theory about is that well, they're going to buy out enough supply to force an artificial halving, right? And that just simply cannot be done because there is checks and balances built into the core of the network itself. And you can only buffer the downside in that case by buying supply, right? You can buy out all of the potential future mine supply for this entire halving period, but all you're doing is providing runway for the miners to stay more profitable at lower levels, which means that you're actually allowing price the ability to come down, which if this is the goal, it's a really good goal from these DATs and these large institutional players, because that means that miners can stay profitable and you can continue to invest in them while buying the OTC coins at lower prices that they are mining. And that's where I think that understanding that there is a 4-year cycle is to your advantage, even if you think that price could, potentially appreciate from here to a new all-time high. Because understanding that dynamic of the cycle means that, we're having a different conversation now than just, hey, the 4-year cycle is dead. It's not, because they're utilizing it to their advantage right now. Think about all these large institutional investors that are invested in public miners. How public miners have converted to DATs, how they've collected treasuries, how they've gotten these large institutional funds in for investment into building out on the debt and equity side, right? With whether it be convertible notes, how they've buffered with AI. It's all a play to help them stay profitable longer to the downside for accumulation. And that's my case for why you have to not think about things in the 4-year cycle as dead, because it just simply isn't true from a fundamentals point of view. And Bitcoin trading right back in the weekly. So I'd like to know from TikTok here. So what don't you like about my analysis? That Bitcoin, you don't like that I called out that Bitcoin's trapped between two major weekly levels. Do you not like that it's threatening downside expansion? Do you not like that I pointed out that it could potentially go lower? What is it that you don't like?
I don't even see the comments, but I will tell you what. Maybe 4 of them will have an answer for you. The rest of them have absolutely no clue what the fuck they're doing.
Mostly. Some people are they get it.
No, and also they don't want to talk about Bitcoin. That's the whole thing. They don't want to know the origins of like this entire ecosystem. So to them, Bitcoin is fucking whatever. You had like multiple fucking videos about Bitcoin is about to lose its steam in fucking 3 to 4 years and is going to be taken over by other things. And I'm like, I'm an XRP holder, man. Brad Garlinghouse holds Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it's wild comments. It's just wild. Like, watch when I bring David Schwartz on, man. Watch when I bring him on to go ahead and have a conversation here.
You know what I think is funny? So I'm seeing some Saylor comments as well. One of the big things to understand about what Saylor is doing is he's betting on the fundamentals of Bitcoin from a network point of view. Because he's betting on the fact that you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face by dumping price out and causing a minor capitulation event, because it will come back and bite you big time. If they kick off a minor capitulation event, which can only really happen right now below around 74, it would get started, but not really until 70 was broken. Then you'd start to see like true minor capitulation start to begin. It wouldn't be full minor capitulation, but it would start to begin. And of course, that would be everybody would make a big deal about, oh, it's below Saylor's cost basis, right? Well, yeah, okay, it's below Saylor's cost basis. He just gave himself 21 months runway. No one really cares about his cost basis in that regard. It'd be stupid for them not to invest in him as a vector at -1 MNAV and actually have him buy and dollar cost average his bags down. It really would make sense to do that. Of course, that would increase the debt obligation, which would shorten his runway on his USD reserve. But the problem that people don't seem to understand is Saylor is taking a dangerous bet, because the same people that are giving him the money for the debt conversion, so under 1 MNAV, I can go and I can convert to strategy shares. I'm already short strategy, which is why short float is so high on strategy. It was up to like 22 to 23% short on float. So that's the shares in circulation. How much of that was short, meaning market? Now everybody's blaming Jamie Dimon, but you have to understand the same people who gave him big money are the ones shorting. Why? Because it would actually benefit them to stay in a short position, convert their shares, and then dump it on top of that, which causes a death spiral, which is what everybody's afraid of. But that's a dangerous game to play, because if Bitcoin is worth more, right? If Bitcoin is worth more and they push them under one MNAV for the actual share price, because those are two different things. Everybody's just equating the MNAV to Bitcoin. The MNAV is different in terms of the valuation of the company. Bitcoin plays the largest role in the balance sheet, but if you get them under one MNAV and Bitcoin bounces because of minor capitulation, that's a shotgun blast to the upside. Every single time that Bitcoin has went into minor capitulation or had a minor capitulation post halving, it has led to a new all-time high. If that didn't happen this time, when minor capitulation eventually does kick off, which is what they're trying to stave off right now, is minor capitulation, because that means this thing will blast off to the top side, because you get what's called tailwinds on the mining side. There's no reason for me to sell Bitcoin on the way down once I get tailwinds, because I'm mining in a profit and I will bank when the network difficulty adjustment catches up. I will keep all of those coins. I become a hodler as a miner. And when the rest of the market starts to set the low and then difficulty adjusts under, all my machines flip on at the same time. Any of my unprofitable machines flip right back on. We start racing hash rate back to the upside, and we're hodling. So we're taking off a whole segment of sell pressure in that regard. So we become hodlers, and the market typically rebounds very violently to the upside. And we haven't seen true minor capitulation yet post halving. And that is exactly what they're trying to control right now from the institutional side, is try to prevent that minor capitulation so that they don't get a blast off into the short side and get all the shorts wiped out. Which, by the way, for anybody that really wants to know where a short's going to get wiped out, everybody thinks it's going to be above 100,000, 101. No, 112 is only, shorts can cover all the way into 112. And only then will you start to see shorts run for cover in an earnest way, meaning we got to get out of these short positions. But they can cover all the way into 112. You're not getting a squeeze anywhere below 112. You'll get local squeezes, and that's fine. But 112 is the number to beat. You start seeing Bitcoin above 100, and you start seeing at 107. If it starts to do that, you better be watching carefully, because shorts still have an advantageous position. Most shorts are averaged in 118 to 123, because that's where, well, quite frankly, that's where I was taking my shorts. But that is where a lot of the bigger players are.
By the way, welcome to the breakdown, episode 637. Appreciate everybody tuning in from all social media platforms. You obviously know we multi-stream here. Welcome to the DG brand. If you're your first time tuning in, congratulations. Hopefully you're writing things down to go ahead and educate yourself on the markets. Landy, where do you see what do you see happening in quarter one? I'll get to my whole 4-year cycle theory, which obviously I don't believe in, and you have gone back and forth about this subject.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just me. It's just, so let's go ahead and elaborate a little bit here. It's just not me who's talking this way. It's a bunch of people that have come onto my shows, who have done podcasts with me. Those podcasts are coming out in January. So shout out to everybody who came on to the podcast.
And I would put my calls up against their calls in the market every single day of the week.
Say that again.
No disrespect to them. No disrespect to them, but I'd put my calls on where price is headed in the market up against their calls any day of the week.
Who?
And those people who believe that there is no 4 years, that 4 year cycle is dead.
So here's what I want to ask you. Okay. Mm-hmm. And and this is the one. Listen, pause market didn't exist either. I'm just saying.
The pause market was something that I called last year
Oh my
into this
God.
year.
Oh my God.
You branded it, but I called Q1 to Q2 transition. I called the correction back in 2024. What did I say on your stage and got brutalized by the meme coiners for? Because I said, look, Q1 to Q2 of next year, there's going to be a big risk of a massive downside correction. And your meme coins likely aren't going to survive that. Sorry, meme coiners. But I was right about it.
I think
Now
the real
you were
meme,
right about the
I think
pause.
you got to give hope. Meme tokens. You even said this yourself, and I don't want to stick on memes today because I really want to
Yeah.
look at Bitcoin and where Bitcoin's going, because where Bitcoin goes, that's where everybody goes. Okay.
Mhm.
Landy has a famous saying. Well, it's funny though. When Bitcoin sneezes, the whole market fucking takes a shit. But
Yep.
all right. What happens in quarter one? Because I have, obviously, my belief is quarter one, we're going to see the rise of crypto. What's your take? Because I feel like you're going to say something like we're heading into a bear market. I don't know why in my gut I feel like you're going to go there.
Well, look, Bitcoin has not fully broken down on the monthly. So I've maintained that the door is still open for Bitcoin as long as it is in monthly higher low structure. And it's still in monthly higher low structure as it stands right now. The door remains open for the bulls, even on the weekly, very powerful downtrend. Only once we start dropping 74, 420, 69 on spot. I will say it every time. And yes, it does rhyme, but that's the spot price because even Bitcoiners like memes. Um, the
You're
big
rocking a
thing,
meme.
I am a meme. I'm literally rocking a basketball jersey with the number 67 on it in honor of the TikTok audience. Um, but look, there is something that what you got to understand about what's happening towards the end of the year this year is everybody's like, oh, it's tax loss harvesting. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's so on and so forth. And no, what it is what you have to understand is liquidity is incredibly tight. And the Fed is staring down the barrel of a recession if they can't thread the needle. Okay. They need to thread the needle Q1 of next year because their employment mandate is playing catch up and they need to cut deeper, faster, and they're going to have to QE much faster. But that doesn't solve all problems because you need a catalyst in terms of spending because that's all just on the refi side. That just provides some liquidity. That's liquidity. That's and QE. Yeah, okay, they can hit the print button to go and buy treasuries, but that's not spending into the markets, right? We have a bunch of parked capital in terms of cash. That can provide for some, but you need new spending. New spending is what drives the economy. New spending also means inflation. Okay. So there's a few factors at play here. The window is open in Q1, but what is the market hedging against right now? You know what the market's hedging against in January specifically, and so do I. Why are we seeing the market act this way? Well, we're seeing a lot of we're seeing the late stages of what would be a bull market for traditional equities right now, with the structure being a potential double top on SPY, Nasdaq, on the weekly, right? You're getting all of the warning signs, but it's not over yet, right? But because what the market is doing is it's selling for premium on the way up and then buying up the dips with that premium. That's options terms for those who are options traders. That's what the most of the market's doing is taking a hedge on all of the upside moves. They've been doing it all year. And then they've been taking that premium and buying on the lows, right? So coming out of that put position, buying the other side, market, then cash starts to come back into the market rises aggressively. But in January, the market doesn't know if we're going to have a shutdown at the end of January or not. This is the biggest outlier right now for the markets because
You know what? A lot of people aren't talking about January 31st.
I know, but
Like
the market
I
knows
don't hear that anywhere, except yes. Let's go ahead and brag. I don't hear that anywhere.
it.
I don't hear
I know
any
you've talked about it.
talk about, hey guys, January 31st comes around, and the Democrats and Republicans don't go ahead and have a solution here. We might go into another government shutdown. Nobody is talking about that.
Yeah, and think about this from a tactical point of view, David. Democrats hate Trump. They need him out, right, in 2028. They don't want JD. They also need to win the midterms. They need to flip the House or the Senate or both. What better time to hold things up when we're staring down the barrel of a recession where what you need is spending? So if you can choke point spending, even though the Fed can come in and cut, and they can free up liquidity, and they can say, you know what, we're going to move to QE now. We're going to do a policy of X amount of dollars every month that we're going to do tranche buys for treasury assets, right? They can start that, but if you choke point spending, recession will ensue because you need that spending. So what does Trump have to counter something like that? And this is where you have to think very tactically. His counter could be a reserve of billions of dollars in tariff revenue that they could start deploying to encourage spending. But all that does is that just buoys things, right? But that would allow for inflation to cool into a time period where during the winter we have rising energy costs, and oil's been dropping, natural gas has been rising. So there's a few different things that the Fed has to think about as well. They have to think about what do we do in the case of a potential government shutdown, because we'll be late to it, because by the time they could even get to it, it'd be February. Right. So what do they do in January? They're going to be looking at natural gas rising. Why? Because even though we're producing a ton here in the United States, we've have record high exports and we've had a cold snap. So natural gas is rising. We have a pause coming out of OPEC plus for oil, and oil has been the primary reason why inflation has been dropping and staying steadily down. Now, if OPEC plus pauses because it's a supply and demand and profitability game, they pause. Do we need to see oil continue to stay on the lows or continue down in order for the Fed to feel comfortable in spurring those cuts and allowing for tranche buys of treasuries? Because now they're trying to boot the economy back up through the Fed side of things. If the Democrats come in, and they could easily sabotage things by holding things up in January, make Trump look bad, call it a recession, talk about all the pain that the Americans are in, point the finger at him. Meanwhile, they're choke pointing the spending that's needed to actually get things rolling again. If that happens, full blown bear market, guaranteed.
If
it doesn't happen,
I looked at everything that
bearish.
I basically looked at everything I'm working with in the stock market. I've been having a hell of a year in the stock market. Hell of a year.
Yeah.
And you look at the crypto market and you're just like, what the fuck, bro? Seriously, like you look at this ecosystem, like, man, it's been left out.
Yeah.
Look, I stick to this, man. The Bitcoin went up because I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Okay, can you agree with me on this? Retail has not come into the markets.
By and large,
I'm talking
retail
about
has been
retail. I'm not talking-
sidelined.
there's two sets of retail, right? There's
Mhm.
the boomers that will go ahead and buy the are we talking about the boomers who are buying ETFs? You get where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
talking about them.
retail no. Retail is not directly buying crypto in mass like they have in previous cycles. Why? Because they had choke point and choke point 2.0, and now we're staring down the barrel of choke point 3.0, which is, hey, come buy our product. Come buy our fee riddled product that is a vector for Bitcoin that at the end of the day when the creation and redemption process is done, we're the ones arbing the Bitcoin on the back end. Meanwhile, you're cash in, cash out, right? It's all about productization. And it's not even that they're actively buying. This is just being adjusted into their portfolios by asset managers and portfolio managers, brokers, right? This is if you have any kind of managed funds, this is where this is happening, right? That's what you're seeing in terms of flows. So no, retail has not been here. Retail came in fits and starts here and there. Maybe they got in and they bought the top of Trump, right? Maybe they got in and they bought a little bit of Fartcoin. I don't know. Maybe they got in and they bought some Pepe, right? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is they have not been here like they have been in previous markets because retail is poor. Main Street hasn't recovered since 2020.
But that's why I feel like you haven't had a real run in the altcoin sector. Like, what has ran, honestly, what has ran in the altcoin market?
It's all rotational and it will continue to be forevermore, I'm sorry to say.
No, but like, okay, fine. Like, that's your opinion, but like, it hasn't run though. It hasn't done anything.
No, and when it will run because institutions are buying to boot up their own networks to tokenize their products and then provide liquidity for their products on side networks like EVM compatible chains for Ethereum, SVMs, or going to Solana. They'll beta test everything there, and then the reason why you're gonna see the actual, layer ones and layer twos go up in altcoins is because they're going to buy up for infrastructure needs and for stake in starting their own thing, right? That's what you're already seeing. That's why, JPMD's, over there on Base. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to buy Ethereum just so they can utilize Base with Baldy locks? And look, great business model for now while we beta test everything else and then spin up our own EVM compatible chain where we control everything. And then we can tokenize our stock, and then we can move over and do stablecoin issuance further by moving over some of our cash and treasuries, issue stablecoins, provide liquidity on our own chain, EVM compatible, and now we can start going from there.
I want to say one thing, Landy. It's funny, and this tells me everything I need to know about this space. That there are people that are in this space right now, and it's not their fault. Like the education. I guess. I guess I don't know if it's the education because there's plenty of educational material out there. There's plenty of value. Um, I think it's all about being interested in learning the history, and this is where I keep going back to history. A lot of these people think that institutions just came in here just now. So they think that 2016, 17, the last cycle, they think that was all retail that pushed it all the way to the top.
No.
And they don't understand that institutional players have been here.
I come from traditional markets.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't understand. They think that it just started.
Yeah.
Like no, it just didn't start.
Yeah, I mean,
they just made the announcement.
Yeah.
They just recently made the announcement letting you know that, you know what, we're going to take over this space. I mean, this is the way I look at it. We're going to take over this space officially. We're coming out and letting you know. We're going to brand the product better than you guys can ever do. And we're going to sell our products. We'll sell our products to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's been the play since 2013, which is when institutions really started to get very heavily involved, is 2013 into 2014. They rode out and collected all through 15 and 16, and then were the largest players pushing things forward into 17. And that's where, I got in 2011, and I actually retired in 15. But, what was I doing in that time period? I was advising like larger players. Like that's the whole point. I was onboarding them. I was trying with retail, but retail didn't want to listen because they were stuck in the narrative of, oh, it's for criminals. Oh, Silk Road. Oh, this, oh, that. Look at these people getting prosecuted and picked up off the street because they own Bitcoin. And by the way, anybody who held Bitcoin in the early days, you almost certainly got a knock on your door. because especially if you were mining, you got a knock on your door. It was not an attractive time to hold it, but 13, everything really started to change. I mean, that's when they really started to boot up different arms of VCs and start funding VCs to get in, right? That was the play, is get in with VCs, capitalize them well and explore. And that's exactly what they did. And they've been here ever since. I mean, they were already sniffing around in the early days anyway.
I still think, for me personally, and others think like me, some don't. I mean, me and you agree on a lot of things, but we disagree on a lot, and that's fine. Like these are the type of conversations you need to have. Like, and this specifically today's lesson is for TikTok, and I'm gonna repeat this again. I wish I could view the comments. Like that's the one thing that I wish I could fucking see is the comments today. But I'm gonna repeat this again. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, I feel like are really good places where people who want to participate in the markets can learn a lot, right? And can be onboarded correctly.
Yes.
When I come on, to let's say TikTok, right? I've been on TikTok for a very long time, but I come on there now, like 4, 5, 6 days now. I'm shooting the shit about crypto. I base everything that I've learned. You have to know the past. Like you have to know the origin story of crypto in order to understand it. There is no way that you can break down this ecosystem without learning it from A to Z. It's wild. Like that goes for any profession. You have to know the basics. You have to know the foundation. Have to know how it started. We can have conspiracy theories about who Satoshi Nakamoto was, right? CIA, whatever you want to fucking throw out there. But at the end of the day, you need to know these things. Okay? You just need to know these things in order for you to actually give an honest opinion. I like XRP. Some people tell me, Dave, you're crazy. I don't respect you for liking XRP. But to me, it's like, yo, they're working with the banks. I don't give a shit. I don't want anything to do with the banks. You know this, Landy. Like, I hate institutions.
Yeah.
I hate the banks. Like, it goes. What's happening right now goes against everything that Satoshi Nakamoto wrote about. Am I wrong? Like, I'm just saying.
This is where I run afoul of many Bitcoin maxis. Is that even dating back to
I know what you're gonna say. I fucking know.
dating back to the Bitcoin talk forums, I was always of the opinion that Bitcoin was purpose built to infiltrate the traditional market infrastructure, and that it was not going to run up against the fiat systems, but rather infiltrate them.
Yeah.
I've always felt that way. I felt that it had to be adopted, and it would be adopted by traditional market players and banks, and that once it fully infiltrates the underlying financial infrastructure, then it has the ability to take over, because Bitcoin at the end of the day is energy, right? It is the tokenized output of the energy input, right? And for anybody that thinks like Bitcoin's going to go away and like, well, what happens if there's no electricity anymore? Well, we got way bigger problems than, than what's going on. And the moment we get electricity, all we need is one node to peer with another, and we're back. Yeah, it'd be highly centralized, but yeah, anyway. But the point being is that once you infiltrate, the energy infrastructure, which Bitcoin is in the process of doing, that's where off grid is very, very valuable, and where things will trend eventually, because all of the big Bitcoin mining operations are really just bridges to AI. They're just using Bitcoin to offset their power costs while they build out the AI infrastructure. And eventually it's going to become like, all right, we don't really need Bitcoin to offset. Let's get rid of the miners, or not update, and then we'll distribute those miners later, which is going to go all to off-grid energy capture, because Bitcoiners and Bitcoin mining operations are some of the most energy innovative operations on the planet, and energy efficient operations on the planet. Most people don't know that, because the FUD was, Bitcoin consumes so much energy. It's actually Bitcoin makes use of energy in ways in which people are not familiar with, and has pushed the energy sector forward in terms of innovation in ways that people will only start to understand in the coming years. And that's really going to begin with what we're seeing in terms of off grid right now. That is the next big wave. But that's what institutional players had to get involved in order for this to happen. And I've always felt it was infiltration. We needed to infiltrate the system. Otherwise they would choke us out. And we can't run our own system up against the broader global financial system without infiltrating it. So it was going to happen, and that's the state that we're in right now.
Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 637. I'm joined by Landy. It's the first person I reached out to today. I was like, you know what? I want to bring on Landy so he can talk about not only charts, but to talk about the industry as a whole, because you obviously have a good understanding, not just about the crypto ecosystem, but outside of it. I don't know. I'm really, I don't know. I'm excited about quarter one of 2026. I really don't care about everything that's happening right now. If anything, I'm just looking at opportunities to, I don't know, looking at opportunities to buy. That's really it. You have everybody screaming that Bitcoin's going into the 70. By the way, what do you think it goes?
Well, I mean, by the end of this year.
Yeah, by the end of the year, what do you think it closes?
Two places it could potentially go. I'm looking 78 to 80, and if it drops down to the mid 70s, that is one place that it could end up. The other way would be 98 to 101, possibly 102. It's at a decision point right now at this big weekly range. So, as long as it's kind of knocking around on closes between 86 and 93.5, there's kind of not much to talk about. If we see a break above 94, 96, we're looking 98 to 101. Possibly above 101, looking at 102.5 to 103.5 kind of range. Potentially more.
What's more likely?
What's more likely by the end of the month?
Like, what is your gut telling you? Like, and I know you shouldn't.
Well, because I update every three times a week, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And for those in the TikTok chat, just so you know, I actually am a miner and I do mine at scale off grid. So if you're wondering, because there's some people in here that think that I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I actually do know what I'm talking about. Because it's not a small operation.
You know what I hate when people, I can't see the comments, and that I hate that the fact that I can't see the comments, but maybe that's a good thing. But I hate when people say you don't know what you're talking about. How about saying I don't agree with what you're saying? Here's why.
Yeah. Well, when people say that,
conversations that I'm used to having, like, and this is the thing. Like, I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's a real show, and they're not used to it, and I get it. I mean, the things that are being stated here, the guests that we have coming on, we have big time guests coming on this week, and we've had big time guests come on for the longest time. They talk at a a graduate level, man. Like they just came out of a Yale in terms of crypto.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, you're bringing on people that actually work in this industry.
Like, understand what's being provided. Like I'm just fucking around with them because Landy, you know my personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know very well. Like I literally try to be cordial, and there's nothing wrong with me saying like, hey, I just don't believe in paid groups, right? Like, is there anything wrong with me saying that?
No.
I come from a different era. You come from a different era. We didn't pay for information. We were just trying to get everybody in, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to get a friend, family member into the ecosystem. It doesn't. We don't have to continue to just harp on Bitcoin. There were other things that I said, hey, I think Ethereum's great. People didn't agree with me, but I was like, hey, I think that Ethereum's going to do great. I like Vitalik. I like Charles. I can name it all out. But at the end of the day, like it goes back to like if you're not willing to, you don't have to participate in these shows. We have our other channels are banging. I'm fine with the other channels. TikTokers, you have a choice, man. You can either say, hey, shit, I want to learn everything, so I can dominate this market, or you can say, okay, fuck it, man. Like this shit ain't for me, man. I'll go elsewhere where there's a bunch of people just hyping shit up. That's it. Bottom line, you don't have to be. But since you wanted to get aggressive yesterday, since you guys want to be two-faced, I'm not two-faced. I'm somebody that comes directly into your face. That's it. Bottom line, y'all don't gotta like it. I don't really give a fuck. You don't offend me or my pockets. I've been here forever. I retired a long time ago. This doesn't mean anything to me. Landy said earlier he retired in 2015. Let me let you understand something even more. I didn't need to retire based on crypto. I retired a long time ago. So if I am here, I'm doing this, number one, of course, with brand building. I'm building my brand 100%. But like this, all this shit that you're getting right now is something that you should be fucking consuming. It's just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with everything said here, but you can sit back and say, okay, let me note some of this shit down and let me research it. You guys have tools available for you. You can go fucking ChatGPT this shit, Grok it, DeepSeek. I don't fucking know what the fuck you guys are using. Google Gemini. Like you can use all these things to help you out. You don't have to go ahead and start getting all in your fucking thongs. Okay, oh my God, a new person's here and they have a bigger platform. How do we take them out? No, that's not crypto. That's not crypto. That's you being stupid. That's you not embracing somebody who has a big brand that can come in here and just elevate everybody else as well and showcase the real ones here that really do dominate, that actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Maybe we can have more conversations that are more productive. And we can still agree to disagree, but we can have productive conversations that the crowd goes away, the crowd who joins these lives. I'm going to just talk on TikTok side. When they join these lives, that they get something out of it, that they can go ahead and have an opportunity to dominate in crypto just like you have. All this other shit. It's like fucking high school. You guys went ahead and started multiple spaces on me, which is, it only benefits me. It doesn't benefit you. People are going to start thinking, well, who the hell is this guy? And guess what? They're going to tune in as they have, and they're going to say, you know what? I like his information. I like his trading style. I like the way he says, I spot buy, I DCA, and I hold. And I take profits when I feel like it's right. When I write out certain goals and certain numbers that I'm supposed to hit for myself, and I'm doing it my way. I don't give a Landy here. By the way, is a goat. Is a fucking goat. And I don't just say that. I don't blow smoke up in anybody's ass. And there's things you can learn from him. Dude does multiple things in this fucking crypto ecosystem. So again, like, you know what? Nobody was jabbing at the real ones that are here. By the way, there are real TA guys and real educated people on TikTok, but there's like they're few and far. I mean, I don't know. To me, I didn't research from the 60% of the shit that I saw, Landy, 5 to 6 of them were pretty good. That's it. The rest of it was hype. It was just all based on hype.
Yeah.
The fuck you want me to tell you? Oh shit, the shit is great. Oh, everybody's phenomenal here, man. It's wild, man. It's wild. You guys should really, like, you know what? I get it. We all have friends. I have friends who just, like, honestly, man, like, I'm friendly with them, but I really don't agree with their approach.
Yeah, well, the interesting part is, so back in the day when I was on TikTok, before they banned my account for whatever reason, all it was technical analysis on Bitcoin and, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow. I got banned. I don't know if it was because people were reporting me, but I had built up a fairly decent following. I really wasn't utilizing the platform outside of uploading videos. And the lives weren't built out the way that they are now. I actually kind of like the lives over there now. I think they're pretty cool. But the interesting part is there was a few good TA guys there that I was even corresponding with. I thought that they did good work. I thought that they were balanced in their take. on their read of the market, but it was overwhelmingly filled with a lot of slop. A lot of what I remember from Twitter with the TA guys that were being paid to shill coins, but they weren't telling their audiences and then dumping it on their audiences. That's what it reminded me of with a lot of them. But there was a few really good like analysts on there doing analysis. But like you said, it was few and far between. I haven't really poked around the platform since coming back to it. Um, I think that there's potential. I like some of the interactions I've had with some of the people that I've talked with in the past couple of weeks on the platform again. I think that there's some smart people. And then of course there's trolls. There's always going to be trolls. On any platform. I mean, look, if you can handle the trolls on X, you can handle them on TikTok. It's like whatever. It's kind of like I've been in this game long enough that social media trolling and tribalism stuff really doesn't bother me. I'm a Bitcoin first guy. People like to hate on that, and that's fine. But I own XRP. I own Ethereum. In fact, I supported Ethereum proof of work for a long time. Right. I was running mining operations for that as well. So they moved proof of stake. Well, no need for it anymore, right? I run validators on Solana, on Sui, right, on Aptos, right, and I'm involved in other networks that are Bitcoin L2 related, and I'm all over the map. I'm just an advocate of the tech, but from a Bitcoiner perspective, and this is where I get in trouble with the maxis. They don't like me because I hold these other coins and I will talk about, my investment in validators and stuff like that on different networks. Or, it's like it's this all or nothing mentality. And it's like, no, like this is not why I'm here. I'm here because from a Bitcoiner perspective, I understand and support the network. And I feel that it is imperative that we continue to push forward with Bitcoin as the focus, but that we cannot ignore the advancements in technology and the importance of it, right? But too many people are still trapped in the tribalism of my coin is number one. And that's an old thing that's going to go away as these institutions onboard themselves into these various ecosystems, because at some point, the entire layer of interaction on chain is going to be abstracted away to Web 2 Rails that is going to be completely transparent what it is that you're dealing with in terms of assets underneath, right? And that's where I think Bitcoin's going to end up being a final settlement layer for a lot of other networks. Has been spoken about by a lot of people, including networks that want to go L2 as a Bitcoin vector, right, and settle on Bitcoin. Charles has talked about this quite a bit with Cardano, but they're not the only ones. Trust me, there's conversations happening behind the scenes for a lot of them, right? For the security and immutability and the distribution of the network. It's just when you go from 200 exahashes to 1 zettahash, and then you maintain, that's a big network. And arguments over centralization and decentralization. Guess what? Monetary incentives will cause decentralization. Everything trends. All decentralization trends towards centralization. All centralization then starts to trend back towards decentralization. And in this case, Bitcoin is built for it. And I think that you're going to see that with Ethereum and validator sets as well. You're going to see that with Solana and validator sets. You're going to see that with Sui and validator sets.
Yeah.
As long as those networks have value to these larger institutional players and builders, they're going to trend towards decentralization. Just out of a vector of a lot of players are going to want to control what they can control, right? They'll want to spin out their own EVM and validator set, right? Now that would be centralized over there, but it starts fragmenting these things. So in essence, it becomes decentralized over time, especially when looking at the Ethereum layer 2 layer cake that they're building over there. I think I would like to, at some point, David, you might know some people, I know some people, but we're going to have to start really talking about the quantum problem, because it's not just a Bitcoin problem. It is a network problem for a lot of these L1s that need to that we're staring down the barrel of, specifically with, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum being the top market cap coins as layer ones.
Yeah.
But there's some really brilliant people who are trying to get this message out there and really trying to stress the importance of it, and their voices are getting drowned out by garbage, quite honestly. And it needs to be talked about because the next 5 years, maybe even sooner, we need to really be thinking about these things.
We do, and this is where, you know, it's just critical to go ahead and talk about everything. And I know, like, you know, I've been focused on, obviously, and this will be the only day, respectfully, that I'm only just focused on the TikTok crowd. But it's just kind of like trying to introduce myself here to those that, you know, actually want to, you know, sit back and listen to real informative conversations. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about in this ecosystem. There really is, and um, on this note, I'm just going to say that I think I really do believe, and this is not me being emotional, but I believe that I believe we see, you know, within the next or I think this quarter, the next quarter, not this quarter, quarter one, 2026. I think we see that next leg to finish everything up. I don't know. That's just me. I think we have that next leg, and then we can
Well, look,
all
here's what I'm going to
sort
say
of be
to you.
right.
Well,
Is that the right way to put it? All
uh,
sorts of be right.
well, look, you can actually be correct, and I can be correct at the same time. Because if we, for instance, get a deeper correction from here and screw around in you know, a bear trend or even a trend break territory through even the midpoint of next year, we would be on track for coming out of that towards the end of the year anyway, right? So when you look at Bitcoin on a macro scale like the quarterly, this is just a compression. So any kind of a downside move from here, um, considering the type of demand, is for it's all opportunity in the long run because at some point that quarterly compression will resolve to the upside. I actually will stake my TA reputation on that one because there is no actual way, because I know this from the technicals, there's no way for it to actually do any type of downside expansion on the quarterly. It can only be mean reversion. So I know for a fact that I'll be right. I actually can't be wrong in making that call. And if you were to see sometime next year Bitcoin in the mid 50s, you better be a buyer, right? Like, and if you see it at higher, and this is one of the things, even if it doesn't do that, and let's say we go back and snap back to the highs, for instance, on the weekly, right? Why, if you are in this space, would you not want price to go lower so that you can get more?
You know what? I think, honestly, Landy, to answer that question from the pulse and just reading and watching and listening to people talk, I think there's a side of the ecosystem that is tired. Like they've bought the dip multiple times and they're like, you know what? It's time. Like to them, it's like, it's time to send. I'm talking about that's the mentality. Psychologically, they're like, yo, I've had enough buying the dips. I just want to see this shit rip. Then you have
And
another side, which is like,
yeah,
I have no problem buying at 50. I have no problem buying at 40. Send this shit to $3, I'll buy. So like
yeah,
there's no middle ground. It's either you have people that are just like, yo, listen, I've been here for multiple cycles. I want to see it send. Like I just want it to go. I don't care about if it's just 7% of the entire world that's in crypto right now. I care about myself. And I want to see this send and I want to make profits. I want to take profits. I want to live good. Okay. That's the mindset. And then you have the other people that are just like, I don't care. This can take 5 years, 10 years. I'll just continue to accumulate. I'm fine. If it pulls back, it's just more wealth for me.
well,
So I don't know. That's to me, that's how people are thinking. I mean, that's
with
what I see.
what I think of when I think of the people that want it to go straight up and not stop is because everyone's got a price. I don't have a price to get out of Bitcoin. because I've leveraged my Bitcoin in such a way that I don't need to sell it.
Yeah.
I don't have to sell it. I want more of it because it is a limited supply asset. Um, and then I want more of the other technologies that have a very bright future, right? I don't care what network that is. I will, if it's got a bright future and it has viability and product market fit, I want to be in it, quite frankly. And AI and blockchain are going to go hand in hand in the future. And if you're not in it now, you're going to be in it through a portfolio, like whether you like it or not, right? Like, so you might as well hold it non-custodially yourself. And I think that anyone that is in this game that would balk at lower prices, it's because they don't have the liquidity to buy at lower prices anymore. They need it to go higher in order to realize profit to even buy lower because they're probably underwater. And that's where I think that you should cherish lower prices. I said this last cycle too.
Yeah, but like
Um,
you should cherish it, but there's a lot of people that haven't made money. Like, you know what? I think the
Most
thing
haven't.
is true. There are a lot of people in crypto that have not made money. Like they haven't. They've been here for a lot of years too, and they haven't made money.
Look, I feel for XRP Army because it took a long time for them to make a new all-time high, and they were very patient the entire time. And like, look, this isn't a shot at them either. You know, I hold XRP from a long,
There's
long,
two
long
sides of
time
the
ago.
XRP army. I'm one of them. So I'm with the guys that like are realistic about the numbers.
Yeah.
Where like if I tell somebody I think the biggest upside for XRP is hitting $15, people are like, yeah, okay. Like I can see that.
It's a pretty incredible market cap too. So
Correct.
they better be happy about that.
But I'm saying like if my goals are like, hey, it can hit 5, it could hit 7, it can hit 12. I'm talking about long term. I'm not talking about like within the next 3 months. I'm talking about these are the things that I can see it hitting. Then you have another side that believes that XRP is going to 10,000, 20, 30,000. And
Mm.
so you have two sides. You have the people who have been hyped up to believe that XRP is going to basically take all the money within the crypto ecosystem, including Bitcoins, and everybody's just going to go into XRP and it's going to boom. That's
Well,
it.
I think that their theory is that all dollars will go into XRP, all fiat currencies. And realistically, my counterpoint to that would be then why are stablecoin issuers issuing on Ethereum, right? Why is that the vector that they're going to go? Why is there so much money going into, you know, these cross-chain compatible stable coins that have their base on Ethereum? Realistically, the institutional players chose Ethereum. And here's how you know that. Um, because they launched spot ETFs for Ethereum right after Bitcoin, right? Because if you then on the other side of that now offer staking through them, you're staking through validators, right? And you can if those players are staking, they have the biggest validator sets on the planet, right? Which means they have a stake in the network now. Why would they want that? So that they can issue their stable coins, their private issued stable coins,
Yeah.
and have a whole bunch of products. Now, does that mean that XRP doesn't have a place? Of course it has a place. I think that XRP is going to do very well in the future, but there is you can't say that the game is over when the game is still going on and then try to forecast out what the number of your token is, because even at those very high valuations of the token, it makes things it increases friction the higher the price of the token, right? This was my case with Ethereum, is that Ethereum actually has to come down in price. I know that Tom Lee hates this, but Ethereum has to come down in price if you want layer one to be used. Otherwise, layer one will not be used. You will see layer twos continue to be used because of the low fees, right?
I think with everything that's happened in with the upgrade, you know, everybody gets on Ethereum, but Ethereum has laid out their roadmap. Like,
Well, Vitalik needs to change, and he knows this. This
I
is why
get
he
it,
wants to move to Risk,
but
or he
like,
floated moving to Risk 5.
I think Vitalik is smart enough to pivot. Like I really do.
He
I
doesn't
don't
get
think
that.
none of
He
my
doesn't
people.
make that call though, David.
No, I
He
get
doesn't
that.
make that call.
I understand.
He can only
We've already
propose it.
talked about this. I think obviously like they should have. Look, I don't agree. I think they should have never gone to proof of stake.
I agree. I think they kneecapped themselves, but they also had no choice.
But again, the latest upgrade, I think I think I really believe Ethereum is going in the right direction. 100. I've always been a huge Ethereum fan. Like Bitcoin and then Ethereum. Like just look at my fucking tweets and anything that I've ever written about or any podcast. Like I've always been a fucking huge fan. I just like you know what it is I can't accept, Landy. You know what? I would be with you on this 4-year cycle theory and shit. But nothing, even that Ethereum didn't do shit. Like, so this would be the worst. This would literally be the worst cycle ever.
Let me ask you this then.
No, not from like I want to clear that up though.
Last
I make
cycle,
money in any cycle, but I'm just
last
saying.
cycle, did XRP make a new all-time high? Did Litecoin make a new all-time high?
Well, Litecoin did 4 and change.
No, it didn't.
Litecoin went to 4 and change.
Litecoin,
It went to
last
4 and
cycle,
change. It was what was it? 2021. It went to 4 something.
went to 420, and that was less than the high in 2017. It did not make a new all-time high last cycle.
I don't think it went to 3.
No, in 2017, before Charlie sold,
Did it?
it went to $420.
Hold on. Let me look.
And in 2021, in March, it went to $413.91. It did not make or break out and make a new all-time high.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Let's look at Link. My Link Marines, where are you at?
Yeah, Link is still like the Link. I love Link, and I I've talked about Link. See, I think XR people got mad at me too. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm holding XRP, but like Chainlink is a problem. Like if you want to know about who is the competitor to to XRP, it is Chainlink.
Well, I mean, they do different things, but
Correct. But like
they can encroach
banks
on
will
that.
banks
Yeah.
are starting. They want to tokenize items, man.
Yes.
So like that's a big problem.
But the fight for XRP is what is the carrier coin?
Absolutely. But
Right,
the
so-
thing is that thing though, like where banks and institutions are coming out and saying, hey, we want to tokenize these assets.
Yes.
And
And,
if-
and
what do you
Chainlink
think,
made
like-
a new all-time high
Yeah.
in 21, right? But XRP did not. You had Litecoin did not, right? You had a lot of tokens that did not make new all-time highs. You had a lot that did, but then you had a lot that didn't. And now we're seeing this happen to Ethereum. You had Solana made Ethereum made a slightly new all-time high, but no close, no real bull run, bull market kind of. It's a big consolidation. Litecoin, same deal. It did not make a new all-time high. Price has not even been close to recovering. So my point is you can have an entire cycle where these
By the
things
way, I
don't
said
do
this.
anything.
I want to say something real quick. I said with the
Go ahead.
Chainlink XRP thing. I said this on multiple streams, and I've been saying this for a while now. It would be it would be beneficial for XRP or Ripple in general coming together with Chainlink.
Yeah. I mean, look, the problem is that Ripple hasn't closed some of the deals that they need to close, quite honestly, that they were purported to have in the works. Right now, if Ripple can close some of those deals and you get more utilization of the token, you get more speculation on the token price as well, and then it can achieve that clean break to the upside on an expansive posture, but it just has not done it. But the rest of the altcoin market hasn't either.
Give Brad Garlinghouse some credit. So like the reason why I'm still holding XRP, I'm gonna tell you why. Brad Garlinghouse is a smart individual. Like I believe that.
He is.
Hold on. I feel like he could have saved Yahoo if they would have just let him. He warned them. Nobody listened. I mean, I'm just going back to like
True.
his origins. Like, right? He's He's a smart dude. Like he sat, you know, he looks like the type of dude that walks into the room and like, you get what I'm saying? This presence.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. Like respectfully, it's not like Chris Larson walking into a room, right? Like you look at the two individuals. It's like Chris Larson walks into a room, and like, okay. Brad walks into a room, you know, he got like he's gonna sell you on whatever new product that comes out from Ripple. So
You know who he didn't sell though on that? He didn't sell it to the administration.
Well,
He
they
tried.
also donated $15 million to Kamala Harris. I don't know. I don't know how excited the administration was to go ahead and do business.
But the administration has brought him in as part of that crypto council in that roundtable session, and he is still heavily involved in DC, right? But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of salesmen in DC right now, and nothing right now that's coming out is anything that can be codified. So you better be doing business deals now, and you better get the big boys on your side, or your window is going to close. That is, quite frankly, for any blockchain technology outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum and probably Solana, your window is now, because if none of this stuff is codified, you're going to have zero pull in another administration that is not crypto friendly.
Solana just went ahead and did a good deed for themselves by bringing in XRP.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I'm telling you,
that's not what XRP holders wanted. I'll tell you that much. That's not what they wanted to see.
They can want whatever they want, but Solana's smart. Solana wins.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the casino wins and everyone else loses.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
I mean, look, even Base now, the Coinbase app. Now you can trade any Solana Dex tokens now. Look, they're smart.
That's what I'm
Very
saying.
Smart. The inroads
Solana has played it smart. Solana, you know what Solana did, and I keep saying this. Solana was dead. You could have took a flyer on it at $8 to $10, right? Here comes Bonk. This is how I view it, okay? I don't give a fuck. Everybody can talk about whatever they want to fucking talk about, but here comes Bonk. Bonk's like, why'd you create a meme token on Solana? Well, because we want to bring liquidity back to Solana. Here comes Bonk. It's now being pushed out by everybody, but you know, influencers are fucking drop tons of money to go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
Now you have this whole casino.
And a lot of crying in it too.
A lot of crying, but you have a casino. But they use the casino to elevate their brand because they can easily now, this is so smart from a branding standpoint. They can easily right now say, you know what? We're done with this, right? We're not focusing on this anymore. Let's focus on our real products. And now people will focus on them. It doesn't matter how many people are crying in the casino. People are now, because Solana is known. Listen, there's a reason why, you know, Luca went and put, Pengu on Solana, right?
Yeah.
Trump put, even though the Trump administration, smart, whoever it was, the Trump token, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was put on Solana, and they were smart about it because they just took all that money and switched it into Ethereum. A little clarification on that. They didn't actually do unlocks and sell. They took all of the fee generation and immediately swapped that, because everybody was expecting, oh yeah, now they've got all the Solana pools. Just so you know, the Solana pool paled in comparison in terms of size to that USDC pool. Correct. And what did they do? They immediately swapped the USDC pool from all of the fees that they generated and immediately swapped over to Ethereum. And that was wild work. Wild work.
What a brilliant move. Like, look, outside of the Hayden Davis stuff, and because it was clearly wasn't the same team. I mean, we know that now it wasn't the same team, but we suspected it on that big old space. What did I have? Like 17,000 people in that
Yeah, but
space?
Melania, he acknowledged.
Yes, he did
Melania,
acknowledge it.
Trump,
Yeah.
he had nothing to do with Trump, but he had everything to do with Melania and Libra.
Well, we knew it wasn't the same team that launched Melania. We knew it. We knew that they wormed their way in to launch for the Melania token. But the interesting thing about that was the proof that there is so little liquidity and we are so illiquid in these ecosystems. And I've said this for a very long time that that we are liquidity strapped in the altcoin ecosystems. And all it took was for Trump to drop that token, and you saw it hoover up all of the liquidity and all of the volume, and all the swaps that came over just killed everything else. It topped the meme coins. And I mentioned this, when prior to it happening, and then during it happening, I said that's the top for memes right now. You guys got your super cycle, you're speed running to the upside, you're speed running to the downside. And this is where now, it's in bear market territory. What's funny? I had a space earlier today that I ran, talking to some other guys that are in charts, and one of the other guys that I didn't take as anybody that would really talk about memes too much said, "Look, once all the institutional players are here, that's when memes are going to shine again, because now everything's just going to be like the stock market. You got your dividends paying out on chain. You've got, all this other stuff. And now memes are the differentiator again, because that's your speculation play." And I was like, wow, that's a really good point. Because I hadn't really thought about it like that. Because my fear for a lot of, just not even memes, but the rest of these ecosystems, is that once they start tokenizing stocks, what they're going to do is you're going to get dividends on chain. They're going to allow for LSTs, so they'll have vaulting, so that you'll get dividends plus vault plus earn through the vault. So you'll get, you'll get an APY, and then you can also still trade because it'll be liquid staked.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? How do memes, or how does anything else compete? And his kind of retort to that was like the hyper speculation. But right now we know that desperation has ensued in these markets, because what is everybody gravitating towards? Everybody's gravitating towards predictions, which is binary, right? It is literally yes, no, right? Win, lose. Everyone's gravitating towards prediction markets. So we're in that
Gemini
bubble
just
time.
officially announced that they're in the prediction market.
Yeah. It's wild.
Crazy.
And like, and I think that,
cough.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Funny, right? How that works out.
Yeah, it is a little funny. Look, prediction markets now are the new hot thing. And I mean,
Well,
they've
it's a
been
new
hot
asset
for a
class.
while. Yeah. And now
But
when does that roll
hold
over to
on.
memes?
Let me just say before. Let me say this: prediction markets are a new asset class in crypto, but it's essentially right now like stable coins, though. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
like nobody's okay. Like
Yeah.
so, like, but like I like prediction markets. Like it really, like I think you have a better chance. Can I be honest? I think you have a better chance of winning on predictions than you do on whatever the fuck you're getting into.
I mean, higher probability, yeah. At least you can measure your risk there, and you know the rules and the risk that you're taking in prediction markets.
Look,
I
I want to just disagree on this, and I don't know if people like memes or not. Like that. And when I say the meme economy, I'm talking about like real memes. I'm not talking about the zombie tickers that I classify them. Well, you know this already, Landy. It's strictly zombie tickers.
Yeah.
I have no use for them. I don't believe, and I know you're probably going to disagree with me on this one, but I don't believe Pepe's going away. I don't believe like the memes that I can list out. I don't believe. I believe they're going to make an all-time high. Like I believe that is going to happen. There has to be one, Lanny. There has to be one more run up. This is not me praying for anything. I can care less. It's for people that are watching and they're in a meme economy. I love memes. I think Murad is wild. Like he thinks that SPX is going to 1 trillion. and I say that respectfully. I like people who are just like mentally like crazy about
Well,
their conviction. It's like Sailor with Bitcoin.
it's great.
Hold on, don't get it twisted. You understand what I'm trying to say, though. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Well, I'd Sailor's playing a dangerous game. But so is anybody in meme coins. Look, here's the thing. I've said this to you a lot. You already know my stance on this. After Doge in 2021, after it made its new all-time high and SHIB launched, I said to many people, Doge will not make another all-time high this cycle and likely not the next cycle. And the reason why is because of the liquidity rotation into SHIB and all of the other coins that launched alongside of it. And what in meme coins are a very small portion of a much larger economy in crypto. And when you have the hyper dilution in the space, it becomes very hard for these older coins to make new all-time highs, because as soon as the market heats up again, you get mass dilution via launches. And until somebody comes along and solves the problem of those extractive launches through some sort of mechanisms that they're likely going to steal from TradFi, in terms of lockups and solutions for how these things go TGE, um, I think that the casino is just going to keep rinsing people, and then until they have no money left to even get these plays to go to, I could see, look, we didn't get the type of run in Pepe that many expected, right? Many expected far higher for Pepe.
I'm gonna ask you. You know what? I'm gonna ask you a really blunt question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you tell everybody to get the fuck out of memes right now?
No, because your time to get out of memes has already passed. You're trapped.
But if somebody, hold on. But if people are in profit, would you tell them to get the fuck out?
I tell them that the next big run up, you get out, because there will be a run up. I don't know if it's going to go like whatever. I don't know if your favorite play is going to go to a new all time high, but I would say you get out and you get into things that are going to continuously make you money on a regular basis. I think that DeFi and DeFi ecosystems are now mature enough this cycle that you can get into safe plays that will continuously pay you. And then you can speculate after you're getting paid on a regular basis. Then go back into memes. Then go speculate as much as you want. Go predict. Go.
You're still on the thing. If you're in memes, we're gonna go into altcoins next. But if you're in memes, even if you're in profit, don't move.
No, because if you really believe in it and you're held this long, why would you sell now? That's my thought process. Because they will bump again. They will come back, and memes aren't gonna just go away. Um, it's just a matter of when it starts to shine back to the upside that you make the smart decision and take profit this time. And then you can start building out a logical loop that pays you to speculate. And that was my problem the first go around with memes. I got into memes too, and I printed like crazy. I literally was screaming that it was the top at the top, and people wanted to take this little puppet out back and put him down. But I was right, and I will dance on anybody that was talking shit to me, because I was 100% right. And what did I do with my profits? I went in
I already
and
know. You don't have to tell me.
I bought Bitcoin, right? Obviously, I rotate into Bitcoin all the time with a portion of my profits, but I went into stables and I stabled up and I started printing off the back of the stables and all the DeFi ecosystems across the board. And then what did I do with that I was because I made a lot of money in it. So then I went and I started to invest into AI, and what was the next pop? It was AI popped like crazy. And then I just rode the narratives with profits from the memes that are still locked up and just printing money out the other side. because of the way that we've actually advanced in the DeFi ecosystem. We didn't have this last cycle in the way that we have it now. We had lending protocols last cycle that were not that great. They were okay. And now we have robust DeFi ecosystems across various chains that are doing really innovative things in a way that is attractive to lock things up and just print out the other side in these DeFi ecosystems with these loops. And then you can go and speculate as much as you want. I've caught a few memes here and there since then because they're just they get a hot narrative and they run. Um, and then there's everything else I can invest in based on just having that profit put to work for me when things are down. Now I can go and I can accumulate at prices for Pepe that when it pops back up, I don't have to worry. I don't have a cost basis any higher than this. I'm at the if this is the lows, I can, and it's risk free. I'm playing with house money at this point, and I'm playing with house money that is printing me more money. I'm like the Fed. What you want to do? Yeah. Look, you've heard me say this, right? Your goal here should be to be printing harder than the Fed. And you know what gets in people's way is to become a maximalist about anything. The only thing that I'm a maxi on is Bitcoin, but everything else I'm using to get more Bitcoin. Whether it's the mining operations, whether it's all of my other investments in other networks from the infrastructure side of things, whether it's tokens that I'm in, it's to get Bitcoin and also to get fiat-based stable coins to participate in DeFi and continue to build out and invest in these ecosystems. That's it. And if you don't have that take, if that's not your approach to these markets and you're just betting on one thing, well, don't be sad when it doesn't do what you want it to do. You have to adjust. And if you don't adjust, you're going to get left behind. You're going to get eaten alive by a lot of these players in the game that are here just to extract.
100%. I'll bring you on the show later this week. It's a really good show. By the way, tomorrow's show, well, it's like a double header. We have people coming on tomorrow, and then it's a special edition of the breakdown. I'll let you guys know a half an hour before we go live with this individual, but obviously known within the space of crypto, and we'll go to chop it up about obviously everything, including the markets. I've
What
been
day is that,
watching. Say that
David?
again.
What day is that?
Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have
Ooh.
a special guest coming on, and Friday we have a big time guest coming on as well. So and that's at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
Nice.
yeah, I would definitely tune in, and 100% definitely tune in if you're interested in learning about crypto and the markets and getting other people's takes besides your own. We all think we're the smartest person. I know I'm the smartest person, but a lot of you people think that you're the smartest person. Look at yourselves in the mirror, and sometimes it's good to go ahead and look at yourselves in the mirror and say, "Okay, I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart. So let me go ahead and just sit down and."
Always learn and always challenge your own views. If you don't challenge your own views, like I love these conversations with you, and I like when you challenge me to stand on what my views are and explain them, because it makes me have to think about them and articulate them in a way that makes sense. I'm not here to defend my views. I'm here to articulate them and learn, right? Because I've learned a ton from you over the years. In fact, through the people that you've brought on, even just in the past couple of weeks, I've learned a lot and started to change my outlook on certain things and update the way that I'm looking at things and where I'm looking, because this is no joke. If you're here to make money and participate in the market and push this industry forward, you got to be paying attention. You got to keep an open mind, and you have to challenge your own views.
100%. I think you said that right just now. It's just like, hey, like I'm not here. But you can sit back and have these conversations and have somebody challenge you. And it can, to me, it's like I've always, outside of social media, right? Because well, I don't want to say that because like I've had great conversations on social media, but you know where you can get looped into some fuckery, right? Where you're sitting in a fucking space or on a chat, and it's like, man, like I'm fucking losing IQ points here. Like that, it's not a thinking conversation. It's more like who's gonna get over, like and win the conversation. Fuck winning the conversation. I want to leave the conversation taking at least 1 or 2 points with me and then looking into them so I can better myself. Because why not? If like you can say something, and you've said plenty of to me in the past, where I look at it and say, you know what, maybe I should go ahead and look into this and make some more money here. Like I've gained a lot for free, right? Like think of it, it's free. It's a conversation. You didn't pay. You imagine without social media, like I don't think a lot of people understand. Like without social media, you wouldn't have access to multi-million-dollar connections.
Yep.
You don't have to like me at all, right? But you have no access to my connections. You wouldn't be able to go ahead and listen to me speak to some of the biggest names in the
Yeah.
space and outside of it. Just listening to them talk benefits you, right? Like for me personally, when I listen to people go on certain podcasts, or if I'm around that environment, I make more money. It's my thing. It's like you surround yourself with multimillionaires. What do you become? A millionaire, right? Eventually, right? Because you have everything laid out for you. Like I don't want nobody's money. I'd rather listen to them and pick their brains about how they got there. So I don't know, man.
Crypto is the only place where I've had the chance and the opportunity to talk to multi-billionaires on like a regular occasion, right? Like it's kind of wild to think about it. Not to mention, like, you know, a lot of the old heads, you know, doing pretty well as well and have a little bit of knowledge in this space, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's one of the most accessible um spaces to be in for collaboration. But with that comes a ton of risk. And that's why I think it's important what you're doing in terms of getting on guests that understand because they've been here and built here. They actually have real, you know, real work put in this space and have contributed in one way or another and have their perspective on it, whether people disagree or agree, doesn't really matter because their perspective is valuable even if you disagree with them. And I think that's something that too many people for too long have gotten wrapped up in the my token is better than your war. And those days are gone. Those days, and if they're not gone, they should be gone. I honestly, from the business standpoint, they're gone. Like from the infrastructure standpoint, those days are over. Quite honestly, now it's fighting on what is your business model, what is your revenue model, and what kind of technology and solutions are you offering? What kind of product market fit does this have? And that's from the back end infrastructure side of things all the way through to product development and delivery. And I think that the most fun that we're gonna have in this space is still ahead of us, not behind us.
Thank you, Landy. I appreciate you. You know, I
Thank
really
you.
do appreciate you. Guys,
Same.
tune into Landy 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as he puts out his market updates from Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. He talks about the markets. I think you would do yourselves a disservice to not check it out. Okay. But 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on X, formerly known as Twitter. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And it's on also, is it on GNN? Does it get streamed there or no? To the YouTube channel or no?
Not yet. We're gonna work that out.
Got it.
Right now, it's just on X for the GNN accounts,
Got it.
and then of course my account.
So check out Landy. There you go. Landy's also taping himself He will be putting out a TikTok video where he will be doing the Renegade. So I'm really excited to see him doing the 2-step, the Crip Walk, and the Renegade. So shout out to Landy. He's embracing the TikTokers. Landy, thank you, and I'll have you on later this week because I'm sure people will be having panic attacks,
Probably.
or people might be celebrating, and I'll bring you back regardless. Either way,
Well, I appreciate you, David. Thank you for having me on as always. It's good to see you, brother.
the legendary Landy, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Landy. That's right, Landy. Somebody to go ahead and definitely tune into. A lot of you guys on TikTok, and this has been a TikTok special. I feel like this has been a TikTok special, but if you haven't tuned in to me, you can go ahead and tune in to or follow my X account. You can follow the YouTube. You can see and listen into some of the shows that I've had with some really cool guests, which you guys probably know about. So I would encourage you to do so before following the next jerk off that tells you that I'm not good. You're only hurting yourself, not me. By the way, we're going to a commercial break and we'll be back. I don't know. Should I take some calls? I'll take some calls right now. As a matter of fact, I'll take some calls right now. Before we go, I will take some calls. Let's go to the call. Call the number, excuse me. Let's go to 347-630-2399. You can go ahead and call in if you want to have a question to ask. If you'd like to go ahead and chop it up, okay? 347-630-2399. We'll be back right after this commercial break. By Gemini, who just came out with prediction markets. Let's fucking go. And this broadcast was sponsored by Gemini, episode 637. Shout out to Gemini. Gemini has come out with their own prediction market. Let's go, Gemini. Go to Gemini.com/David G and look up go look at all the credit cards that Gemini has to offer. All of them issued by WebBank. Also, click my link with my face on it. That link, trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. All right, so I'll take one call before I'm getting everybody calling me in. I'll take one call before I go. Let's see. Give me a second while I go ahead and. Thank God I'm on delay so I can throw people's asses off. All right, you called into the breakdown. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? This is Web3 Glossary from the chat.
Web3, what's going on?
Not too much. Thank you for coming to our platform and trying to bring some value. But I wanted to ask you, because you're clearly very good at capturing some attention, like how do you personally decide when you're going to use that attention to like help build your brand versus helping the audience? Like how you determine that?
I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I mean, my brand is not just crypto. I talk about crypto, but I talk about a lot of other things. I didn't really want to have a shit fest with any of you guys, but I think you guys chose it upon yourselves to come on and like start taking shots at me. So fuck it. I'm in New York. I'll take shots right back. I'm not gonna allow
on my
motherfuckers
side,
to
it's
hold.
been-
I love it. I love the fact that people open up spaces and they're talking about me and know nothing about me, but let's go ahead and make some random shit up about him. No problem. I'm all for it. I'm all for the fuckery. But ultimately, like my show is strictly this show from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. is strictly about breaking down crypto, and we can get into political topics. Everything else, like I'm doing the live streams, which are literally focused on just primarily TikTok. They're not multi-streamed, and I've been on there, and I've only been able to do like 3 actual conversations where we've talked about crypto. Everything else has been like a dick measuring contest. So fuck it.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, yesterday I'm fucking I am shoveling snow and stuff, and I get alerted to the fact that there's another space open about you. Same people that are on my stage are talking shit. I don't
So
come.
this has been happening. I mean, this isn't a new thing here.
Say that again.
No, I just said this is something that's been happening. It's not a new thing here in terms of what you're talking about with people backstabbing, being double-sided. I know Waddy was up on your panel. People have been coming after him, and he's literally just a good dude trying to give his time and dealing with his disability and trying to just help educate people a little bit.
I think he's doing a great job.
But like when you see influencers attacking, when you see influencers attacking accounts like that, it's just disgusting.
I think he's doing a phenomenal job. I literally think he's 100% doing a phenomenal job. Great job by him. I've watched him like 2 or 3 times already. He's done a great job. And there, like I said, there have been 5 or 6 people.
I appreciate
You don't hear me?
No, sorry. I definitely have a delay.
Yeah, I hear like there's a delay on. Like if you want, you can call back. But for me personally, I honestly did not have beef with anybody. I just said what it was. Like, does Twitter have accounts that like deliver information all the time? No, we on Twitter or X, whatever you want to fucking call it. There are also accounts that don't know dog shit, and it's all hype. And it's like good. There are a bunch of people that post good morning pictures. They say good morning crypto, and they post a picture of their naked selves, and then nobody wants to fucking see that. Like, I didn't come here to look at your naked ass. All right, I came here to fucking talk shop about crypto. I'm that serious. I give it to crypto Twitter the same way I give it to anybody. YouTube, same thing, man. There are a lot of hype men, and there is a little bit more value. TikTok, I don't know. Again, it's like 5, 6 people that are like, to me, were very knowledgeable when I got to see them. The rest were like hyping me to buy a fucking motorcycle or a fucking scooter. I don't know. Was I supposed to say, yeah, great content, man? If I was a new person, I would probably buy whatever was being sold to me. So if and I said that, and I actually acknowledged the fact that these people that hype shit up, they're great. They should be on the TikTok shop. I'm going to keep on saying that. They should be on the TikTok shop because they would be making millions of dollars per year. They have the gift of gab. Oh my goodness. People wish to have that type of ability to go ahead and talk and just sell somebody a fucking vacuum cleaner. So I don't know why people got so butthurt.
Speaking of which, I sell.
I think like I didn't say.
I think people got butthurt because they felt.
Yo, call me back because you're on Mars right now, bro. Call me back. Don't worry, I'm taking calls right now, and then I'm gonna end the show. But call me right back. I'll pick up. No worries, guys. I wasn't trying to destroy anybody. All I was doing is speaking my truth. Okay, like some people don't like me, and that's okay. Great. Either I just accept it. That's it, man. Like, I'm not gonna fucking cry about it. Hold on. Let's see if we can get you back on. Jesus Christ. Give me 1 second. Yeah, hold on, because I'm gonna bring you on live onto the show. By the way, welcome to anybody who's joining in. Welcome. This is the call-in part where you can call in and chat it up with me about crypto, or we can, dive into politics. But I'm a little bit sketchy on politics right now. I feel like the political end with TikTok is going to get me thrown off. God forbid you say something. Like, I mean, you just have to align with one party. The way I feel right now with this whole shit. Hold on one second. I don't know why this is not fucking working. Call back again. Let him call back again. I get it. I get it. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can connect. You've called into the breakdown. What's going on?
Hey, I'm trying to get on the show.
Hey, what's going on? What's your name?
My name is George.
George, where are you calling from?
Boston.
Which app are you watching us from?
Twitter.
What's going on?
Not much, man.
Are we speed dating?
Dude, this is like a lag. Hold on one second, bro. Can you hear me?
You're live with me right now.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
What's going on?
Real quick, man. I wanted to talk about something with you. So, Bitcoin, right? And the whole comparison to gold, Bitcoin's digital gold, gets me thinking, right? Let's take it back to from gold rush, arms race for gold, and then you have the Bretton Woods system in 44. Government sells it at fixed rate, 35 per ounce, allows foreign governments to purchase it. And then it's not sustainable, so they pump the brakes on it. But there was essentially an arms race for gold. So why isn't the same thing being viewed for Bitcoin, right? Like you hear Trump talking about we need to win the race for crypto. We need to be number one in crypto. Why, right? Like why? Why is he saying that, right? Wouldn't it be possible for the same exact ideology to be placed on Bitcoin?
But I think that's happening, though. I think it's more than ever evident that, like,
you think that's happening?
Yeah, 100%. You have here's where everybody goes wrong, right? Everybody says that the institutions, and Landis said this multiple times. Everybody thinks that the institutions just came in. The institutions have always been in,
right?
And they're buying a Bitcoin. Forget about what they're saying on mainstream media. All these people on mainstream media that tell you that crypto sucks or Bitcoin sucks and it's rat poison, they all got Bitcoin. They all got Bitcoin, and even so now, like they're buying. What do you think? It's just Michael Saylor that's just buying clips of Bitcoin? No, it's others. They're just not out there. They're not out there and telling you about it. They're buying. I'm talking about from a personal standpoint, even like they're buying and they're just like they're on mute. They're not letting you know.
Right.
Institutions are not going to like. I always say you got to follow the money, right? Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money, right? Follow big money. Whatever big money is doing, you want to fucking do the same thing because you're gonna make money. But a lot of these motherfuckers are not gonna tell you their moves.
Right.
They don't want you making money. Why the fuck would they want you holding Bitcoin?
They don't. Obviously, the same way they didn't want the public to have gold. So it wasn't accessible to the public besides foreign government entities that essentially that was just a coy for the U.S. to instill dollar dominance, right? Like they're like, hey, we'll sell you gold at 35 an ounce, but you have to use the U.S. dollar as like essentially the standard, right? So then everything gets priced into U.S. dollars, and then Nixon's like, hey, never mind, but it's too late because everything has been running on essentially the U.S. dollar as a comparison to other fiat currencies, right?
I'm telling you. I want you to listen to me here. These motherfuckers do not want us in
Okay.
Bitcoin. They don't want us holding any of these digital assets. They want us working for them.
Yep.
What good is it if you have Bitcoin and now they
Yep.
lose an employee? They want
100%. I guess my thing is, David, is like, yeah, it's basically like, how do people not see this? Like, if you know,
because
that
mainstream
this
media,
exact playbook has been done
mainstream
fucking
media,
like 50, 70 years ago.
bro, mainstream media did
Right.
this. Like the institutions own mainstream media. 52% almost, actually, no, I think it's 55% of mainstream media is owned by institutional players. They put out the message. Think about this. For so long, Larry
Right.
Finn, BlackRock, everybody was calling
Absolutely.
Bitcoin dog shit. Bitcoin's dog shit, digital assets are dog shit. They did everything possible to discredit the
Yep.
space. Now all of a sudden, oh, we've had a change of heart. No, they
And now
didn't.
they're all in it.
They're all in it. If you
Yeah.
think all of a sudden it just snapped to them like, oh, now we have a change of heart here, man. Like, oh, now, sorry about that. But no. They got enough. Now they got to go ahead and sell products to
Yep.
people, right? So now they got to be, okay, smile for the camera, and you better tell all the anchors now that Bitcoin is good, all right? Bitcoin is good, and let them tell the general public that Bitcoin is great and amazing, and we're going to tokenize the world. That's what they're doing, and and they don't want you buying physical Bitcoin either. They don't want you buying XRP or Ethereum. They want you buying ETFs
Right.
of these products. They want you to buy the product. They don't want you to buy the physical. That is the problem.
Yep.
So, listen, get ahead
They
of them.
want to custody all of it. And dude, 100%, you're right. I guess the reason I'm like bringing all this up in the show. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's been the goal for a little while now. But I guess the reason I'm bringing this up, David, is because I feel like not enough people are trying to use history, because a lot of these playbooks are just rinse and repeat, right? Like, and then people always act surprised when it's just like happens. But it's like, dude, this has already played out. It's just different. And then the difference is like comparing Bitcoin to gold. Well, just a couple things, right? Like the key differences there is like for gold, the standard collapsed and then the state survived, but then gold was sidelined. But in Bitcoin, if Bitcoin standard, like quotations, collapse, issuers collapse, Bitcoin continues, and capital migrates instantly. Right? So there's like, I just don't get how more people are not bullish, I guess, is like I'm using this time, David, to rant.
You know what? I appreciate it, and I appreciate you calling up. At the end of the day, man, it's just because like mainstream media did a really good job trying to destroy the perception, and so did like Congress. Let's not leave them out. The major political figures, they did everything possible, and obviously the banking system, to just completely shit on digital assets. So whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum or XRP or Solana, it doesn't matter. Like they torched everything, but they were torching it to get it, right? So a lot of people say, oh, they were doing all these things to kill the industry. No, they didn't want to kill the industry. They wanted to take the industry.
Yep.
That was the plan. Like everybody said, oh, they wanted to kill it and kill it. No, they wanted to take it from you. They wanted you to go ahead and sell it off, okay? Get scared like most people did, sell it off. The people that didn't get into it, good, because they wanted to capture everything, bottom line. So yeah, that's really it, man. I appreciate you calling in. Hopefully it's not your first time. Hopefully it's not your last time. You're more than welcome to call in and chop it up with me, bro. That was Greg from Boston. Shout out to Boston, Northeast. Good questions, right? Good questions, good conversations. That's what we're about. That's what the DG brand is about. That's what the show's about, is just having good conversations when people call in, having great guests on, having a good time, talking about things that, my bad, George, getting told that it was George, not Greg. Greg, I'm sorry. George, I'm sorry. It's still a G, though. Respectfully, it's still a G. Anyway, you're a G, though. I like. He's fired up. He's like, why don't more people talk about Bitcoin? Why don't more people talk about Bitcoin? Why don't more people? Yeah, that's right. Why don't more people talk about Bitcoin? Why was Bitcoin so gatekept? Right? Why? Like I said, man, you know, when I mentioned the fact that, you know, people should know the history of crypto, that's a benefit for you. Like, that's a benefit for you and the crowd that you have if you understand the origins of how it all started. Like, not knowing, imagine having a mechanic work on your car, but he only knows like 10% of the history of the fucking car you brought in. It doesn't make sense, right? You wouldn't have a mechanic who knows 10% about your goddamn car working on your car, right? Now he's guessing. You don't want to be around people that are guessing. No, you want people that are educated about the crypto environment, the markets in general, to speak to you, man. I'm not talking about following anybody, but it's good to go ahead and get value from people that understand the ecosystem, right? I mean, like, I'm not saying anything wrong. And when I said it, people got fucking offended. People got offended because I said, well, you should know about this entire ecosystem. You should know the top players and who went out there, did grassroots marketing, who put Bitcoin out there for people to get interested in. You should know these things. You should know about Mt. Gox and all these when these conversations come up, you should be like this. I know this shit. Easy work. I learned about this. I studied this. This is why. It's like, I'm going to go take a test, but I'm only 10% prepared. Like, I don't even understand that. What do you go, like, guess the other things out? Like, what are we fucking talking about? What are you talking about? And yeah, I'm a big personality. Like, I'm a big personality. Forget about the brand part, but I am a big personality. Like, and it irritates people. It does. It irritates the fuck out of people. Maybe I'd be irritated too, man. If I saw somebody like myself come in, I'd be fucking irritated. Maybe I would. Maybe I'd fucking be irritated. I don't know. Or I would say it as, okay, cool. I'll hear him out, and if he's good, man, I have to step up my game, man. That's it. I don't know, man. I'm just thinking out loud, man. I'm just fucking thinking out loud. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown. This Mar is such a jerk, bro. This guy, Mar. Anyway, I want to take I want to say thank you to, I see people calling in, but I can't take the calls, man. Because I am I'm an hour and 42 minutes over. I'm an hour and 42 minutes over. I have some stuff to do today, some tapes to do today. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining in today. Okay. I hope that you guys are winning big. I really do hope that you're winning big. I hope that you really dive in and learn this yourself. Like, don't have anybody hold your hand, and listen to value to people that bring value. That's it. Like that's really all at the end of the day. Listen to people that bring value. I'm not hating on anybody, and I'm specifically talking on the TikTok side. Twitter, YouTube. I don't have no beef with anybody except apparently on TikTok. Unbeknownst to me too. But at the end of the day, I wish everybody nothing but success. That's it. You know, at the end of the day, like, wish y'all all the best. Hope you win. Hope y'all win. I'm getting text messages from my people saying, hold on. One comment just came in saying, don't call on TikTok next time saying everyone is stupid and we're good? See, I'll answer that before I go. I said people are broke. And that can mean a lot of things. And if you've listened to me or if you follow me, you know exactly what I meant by that. But some people are really broke, though. There's no 100% they're broke because they've been chasing random bullshit that's been fed to them, and now they're broke. They're really broke. But then there are people that surround themselves with, broke personalities, and you are whatever you surround yourself with. So if you got offended, good. I don't give a fuck. That's not something that I can care less. If you're getting offended by me telling you that you're broke because you've surrounded yourself with broke individuals, well, that's on you. You can fix that. You can surround yourself with wealth. That's up to you. Like, you can surround yourself with wealthy individuals that will break shit down, and as good as you think you are, you can even get better. Like, I don't think I've been in the game for 13 years. I still think I can get better. So, like, if you're saying that you're already good and like you don't need any help, well, you're really closed-minded. You're not trying to be the greatest of all time. Like, I don't know. I have no idea, man. I have absolutely no idea. But when people are fucking telling people to go leverage trade, and they've never traded in their lives, you're going to get people just destroyed. Leverage? How about just telling people don't do anything? Like, don't enter the markets yet. You need to sit down. You need to look at all this stuff. You need to get a pen and paper out, and you need to start writing. You need to understand like how this all works. I don't know what the fuck I said wrong about when I came and said like you need to take a time out before you jump in. People are taking their 401ks and the IRAs, the last pennies, and jumping into crypto based on hype. No, like that's wrong. You should put a stop to it immediately if you see it and say to somebody, hey, chill, man. Like you need to sit back. You need to sit back and you need to learn. All right. You need to learn, and you learn on your own, but you can also listen into, a lot of individuals out here who know this industry well, take note, then come to your own conclusion. I don't know what's wrong with. I really don't know what's wrong with that. I guess some people want to go ahead and get destroyed. Should I take this last call? I'll take the last call. Let's see if it's a motherfuckering call. Yeah, you don't have to whisper. You're live.
Hi, this is Lisa. How are you?
I'm great.
So I'm coming up because sometimes it's kind of hard to, have a conversation through chat. So I figured with conversation live. But no, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because you're new to the space. I've been here for a while. And, I've heard about you when I came into, and the first thing that I hear is that you're calling everybody, you're saying a lot of things about everybody on TikTok, which is very off-putting because it's lumping people into one group. And I'm actually a lot like you. I speak my mind too. I say a lot of things, and I get it. With you, with a lot of shit that you said, there's a lot of people up here that are saying some crazy shit. And whoever is trying to get people to leverage, like you're saying, is absolutely wrong. You're right. But I'm just saying, and I have a right to speak my mind too. I want to follow you. I actually did follow you. People that know me know I don't follow a lot of people. I follow you because you say things a lot of people don't hear, and we need that. But you also just made things that aren't true, and you up into another category that's not true. I'd rather get to know you because I think we're a lot more alike than not.
I mean,
I'm just looking for fairness.
I mean, is this the first stream that you've watched?
No, I've been on here for a really long time. It's the first stream of yours that I've watched.
No, I'm saying my first stream. Okay, so like a lot of people are just getting like, like people will see they'll see something happen and then they'll recreate their story. And you know, like, and they'll push it out there. That's what's really happened. Like,
Sure,
I mean, I could pull out all the tapes
sure,
because
sure. And I
they're
get it.
saved,
It's so
right?
frustrating.
And the only thing that's frustrating
Right.
is that, like, when I said like, that must have been in the midst of a conversation where, like, if I'm being attacked, well, I'm punching back, right? Like you guys, you want to be stupid and follow
I
these.
get it.
It's the slang, right? I'm like saying, if you guys want to be stupid and follow people based on hype and stay broke, great. So what happens? They take a sentence like that and
Right.
translate it to, he called everybody stupid. Like, no, I called you stupid for following people that are
Sure.
based.
But
You
no,
know,
he's trying to.
say that again.
I was there. I'm just saying my into your live. That's all. And you, like, I stayed the whole time and listening to everything that you had to say, and happy that you were saying things that need to be said in this community. And so that's wonderful to have. I'm sharing with you that I wish that I did coming on, because, and then you just once again lumped me into a category that I don't talking about you. And I'm trying to help you. I'm just trying to say, hey, come on to TikTok, we need you here. But I also think we need you. That's all. I mean, we're
Listen,
allowed
I
to,
appreciate
we're
it. Like, I appreciate it. You know, I don't. I just, you know what it is. You know what I think. I think, and I know myself. I have a. I don't beat around the bush, so I say what I feel, and I don't
I get
know
it.
how TikTok is a little bit more liberal. So when I guess when I come on and I say what I say,
Yeah.
it's a shock. It's like, what the fuck is this? I've seen it. It's just like, what is this? What is
No, it's
happening?
true. And it's like, you know, there's a lot of people sensitive on TikTok too, and maybe I'm coming across as looking sensitive because I'm up here and having this conversation, and that's okay. It's just I don't care about myself, because anybody that knows me here knows I speak my mind. I'm very protective over the good people in this community, and that's who I'm for. So, like, look at my profile. Go look at what I posted earlier today. Wow, you'll get a kick out of it. But yeah, you're right. You're not wrong.
I appreciate it, and I don't know if I'll ever change from the standpoint of, like, being blunt, but I understand where you're coming from. But I never like, if somebody can pull up the tape, I have the tapes. Like, I have
Sure.
my tapes, right? It's saved in your TikTok
Yeah, but you
studio.
should make some judgments of me.
Bro, like, if I say, if I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just
David, look,
it's
if
slang.
you look back at I've had this happen.
Got it. You know how many people have fucking called me? If stupid offends you, you should see what I've been called. Can you imagine?
When stupid doesn't offend me. It's
Not
just
you. No. I'm not talking about
the
you.
community. Oh, I was called a whore.
Listen,
Yeah.
I've been called. Hey, man, you need to be more respectful. That's number one.
Everything.
A lot of men need to be more respectful here, man.
Who is that?
But no, but like, I think there are
Oh,
really there's some really good.
But it's yeah.
I don't know what happened. If you want, you can call back. But I'll say this: there are a lot of people that, you know, I find them to be, you know, honest individuals. They're not talking shit. They're not two-faced. But then I did find that there were a lot of two-faced son of a bitches on here, man. How do you shake hands with somebody? Yeah, you can call back. I know why there's a delay. If you want, you can call back. And I'm sorry to George, and I'm sorry to Web3. I know why there was a delay. I just fixed it. But I want to say to you guys that at the end of the day, man, like, bro, just show one face, don't show two. That's really, at the end of the day, show one face, don't show two. You know what? You can't slap hands and tell me bygones and let's be friends and let's yo, this is awesome. And then, bro, I get off of TikTok and then I get contacted like, yo, bro, they're holding emergency spaces, bro. I'm like, what, bro, like, what? I'm sorry, man. I'm from New York. We don't do that kind of shit. Like, New Yorkers tell you straight up how they're feeling, bro. Ain't nobody. I'm not talking about anybody kissing my ass either. I don't want anybody to kiss my ass. I don't even surround myself with people that kiss my ass. My friends don't even agree with me. How about that? My friends don't even agree with me. You know what? Makes for great conversations. And then they don't agree with me just to go ahead and to not agree with me. They just have different takes, and that's fine. I have different takes. There's nothing wrong with that. I like having conversations. I like having conversations about crypto, finance, the markets. I love having conversations about politics. I love sports. We can talk about sports, but those are my two, crypto and politics. And they go to the hip with each other now. I don't know, man. I feel like we're living in a soft generation. And that's not an attack on the last caller. She wasn't being soft. All I'm saying is, if I call you stupid, if I called you stupid and you got offended, my God, you got bigger issues than me. Okay? If you got offended by me calling you stupid, you got bigger issues than me. Way bigger. Okay? You need to call you right now, you need to look up a therapist and you need to go see them. Okay? You need therapy. Like, you don't need, it's not me, you need therapy. Okay? And this is a soft ass generation we're living in right now. This is an absolute soft ass generation that we are currently living in, where you say something, oh my God, because everybody's used to this fucking limp wrist generation. Okay, limp wrist. All right, limp wrist fucking men walking around here. Just I'm gonna agree with you. I'm just gonna agree with you, even if you're wrong. I'm gonna agree with you. It's crazy. Like, man, like at the end of the day, like I really do want people to succeed. I don't want people to lose. Why is W mad? Why is W mad? Wadi is mad. He thinks I said something about. I said that he holds a great show. I'm so lost. Do you see how this works? This is an example. I just literally said that he has one of the good shows on TikTok. And here I am. This is what I'm talking about. The misinformation that is put out there and told to people. This is it. I just proved my point. I literally said the guy holds a really good show. I tuned in 3 times and heard him speak, and I was like, man, this is a good show. It's educational, it has something of value to it. What happens? He thinks I'm talking shit about him. Do you understand how this works now? This is what I walked into. Unreal. 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 I can't explain it. Even when I say nice things, I got to tell you, Twitter by far, and I thought Twitter was a hot mess. Twitter by far is not this challenged. Like it is not this challenged. There is no way. Yeah, you got a little class of people that just go around just spreading rumors and shit like that. But like, this is the first time that I've said something nice about something. I've said something nice about somebody, and they think I've said something bad. This is wild. This is wild. But it is what it is. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I appreciate you. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to X. Shout out to YouTube, Rumble, LinkedIn. Everybody who's tuned into the program. We will be back tomorrow. It's going to be a double session tomorrow. Double header. We'll have 12 to 2. And then we have an episode at 6 with somebody who I'm sure everybody in crypto, if you know crypto, you know who this person is. We'll have some fun. And then Friday, we have a big time episode coming at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So get locked in. If you guys want to learn something, tune in. And on that note, I'll leave you with just be nice to people. That's it. Just be nice to people. Go to your emergency meetings now. Go ahead and meet up with each other. Emergency meetings have been called. Go ahead, join in. I'm going to go tape some clips, and I got to go do I got to do a lot of things. But God bless you all, and have a great night. Let's play that Gemini video again for you guys. That's right. You've tuned into episode 637, sponsored by Gemini. The Breakdown, one of the top shows around, sponsored by Gemini. Go to Gemini.com/David G. Check out the credit cards, all issued by WebBank. Also, click my link. Okay, click my Gemini link. That's right. Trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go back at it again. Until then, be good to each other. Peace.